This is the most evil, the most disturbing, and the darkest episode we have ever released on the Shawn Ryan Show. It has to do with predators who are preying sexually on children. Ryan Montgomery, the number one ranked ethical hacker in the world, has dedicated his life to hacking into these websites and exposing the predators who are preying on our children to the world. And he has thousands and thousands of names now that he's releasing. This is going to save a lot of kids, and I want you to share this with everybody you know. The public needs to be informed of this. And here's how the kids are going to be saved, because everybody says, oh, share my stuff, right? Here's how they'll be saved. Every parent that watches this will smarten up on what their kid's doing on the internet. Every kid that watches this is going to smarten up and become aware of how prevalent this stuff is on the internet. And every one of you predators that's watching this, it's going to put the fear of God into you, because when you're caught, you will be humiliated and hopefully in prison. That's how this is going to save these kids. People are going to smarten up. They're going to realize this is everywhere. This is on every social media platform, every chat room, everywhere you go on the internet. These people are hanging out. And unfortunately, we have to fight censorship here, because here's one thing. These predators have a lot of powerful people throughout the world, in government, in Hollywood, all over the place, that are sticking up for this community. So we've done everything we possibly can to avoid censorship. We have demonetized it ourselves. This isn't about money. This isn't about advertising. This is about saving kids, and that's it. So we've demonetized the video ourselves. We've pulled footage. We've bleeped every bad word on this video in hopes that it does not get censored, because the masses and the people need to watch this now. This is a battle between good and evil, and I can tell you right now, good is losing unless people like you start to stand up and get loud about this subject. This isn't about politics. This isn't even about the country. This is about kids all over the world. This is happening. Please pay attention and share this with everyone you know. If you want to see the unedited stuff, it'll be on my Patreon, and it will be on Rumble in a few days. In Patreon, like I said, we demonetized this one. You alone are who's making this possible. So thank you for the support, because if it wasn't for you, this wouldn't be happening. With that being said, I want to just say, Ryan Montgomery, I'm real proud to know you, man. And it was a real honor to have you in here and get this interview and educate the world on what you're doing and how these predators are reaching our kids. And it's an honor to be your friend. Thank you. One last thing. If you did get anything out of this, please take 10 seconds out of your day and go to Spotify and go to Apple Podcasts and leave us a review and tell us what you got out of this. That helps the algorithm push these episodes farther and get more reach. And this is a subject everybody needs to hear. Thank you. Ryan Montgomery, welcome to the Shawn Ryan Show, man.
Thank you for having me.
It's an honor to have you. So I found a maybe a 30-second short on Instagram, and we'll get into that later, of you exposing, I believe it was a father who was exploiting his daughter in a bathtub. You had hacked in and exploited that. And so I reached out thinking, there's no way in hell this guy's going to give me the time of day because it doesn't look like you're very active on the gram. And then I got you. So I'm just super excited to be here interviewing you right now. Dude, you are doing amazing things, saving who knows how many kids. I mean, if you think of the impact of what you're doing, and we'll get into it, you'll never know the full impact of how many kids that you've saved by kids smartening up about what they're doing online, parents smartening up about what their kids are doing online, and these pedophiles, right. You're going to put the fear of God in them.
Oh, for sure.
And so
that's the goal.
There's going to be less of them preying on these kids. So anyways, we'll get into all that stuff. I just wanted to say how excited I am about this.
Likewise, I'm very excited to be here, and it means the world to me, and especially that the reach that you have, the amount of parents that will be educated based on some of the stuff that we talk about here, that even if we save one kid, it's worth it.
Yes. So let me give you a little bit of an intro here. You're the #1 ranked ethical hacker in the world. You're a serial entrepreneur, cybersecurity professional, and now a child safety warrior with your company, 561 PC.
Not my 561 PC is not a company. My company is actually Pentester, which is a cybersecurity company, pentester.com. 561 PC is an organization that I created with my friend Dustin Lampros, or Scrappy. He's a professional MMA fighter.
We'll get into that soon. Mm-hmm. And your goal, protecting children and trying to make South Florida and the world a better place by catching one child predator at a time. That's a damn good goal. You go by 0 Day on Instagram. You're like a modern day vigilante. Just some stuff about your hacking life. 0 Day, code for a discovered security vulnerability with 0 days to fix the flaw. That's the meaning of it. 19 plus years hacking. You're self-taught, no college, no formal education. You claim to have imposter syndrome. You mentor and teach others on how to learn this trade. You've made money from working with Amazon, PayPal, and Facebook. And you say that hacking is the best decision you've ever made in your life. Sometimes you hack up to 10 hours a day.
Yeah, or more. But, working with some of those big companies there would be through bug bounty programs. I don't know if you're familiar with them.
I'm not.
That was prior to us starting Pentester.com, which is a cybersecurity platform for small, medium-sized businesses at the moment to make sure that they're safe online, to check for data leaks, to check, where your face, where your identity is being broadcasted all over the internet, which goes, hand in hand with what we're doing with predators. And sorry, got mixed up there.
It's all good. While you're thinking, every guest that comes on the show gets a gift.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much. Oh, wow.
There you go. Go ahead, open it up.
Got Vigilance Elite Gummy Bears.
That's right. Made in the USA, legal in all 50 states.
Gummy bear.
Right now.
And, wow, how did you find out about this?
We researched you.
Wow.
So I know you love Ritz cheese crackers. You eat, chicken tenders every day at noon at Burger King, and Campbell's soup every night before you go to bed.
I quit the Burger King. I now am on to Chick-fil-A at 12:30. I do eat Ritz Bits cheese crackers. Every single day. Campbell's chicken noodle soup. Actually, I walked 2 miles last night to Walmart. I could have Ubered, but I walked 2 miles last night to Walmart to get one single can of Campbell's chicken noodle soup. and didn't realize there was a microwave in the hotel room. So I even contemplated putting the metal can on the iron to heat it up so that, so that I could eat it last night.
You walked 2 miles for a can of Campbell's soup to heat it up on an iron.
For a 99-cent can of Campbell's soup, yep.
Incredible. Well, if you come here again, I'll have that wait in your hotel room for you.
No, it's all right.
But so moving on in the interview, you have a interesting childhood, it sounds like, overcoming addiction. I want to get into your childhood, how you got into hacking, some of the stuff we can do to protect ourselves from hackers, what hackers are capable of. And then the second half of the interview, I want to get into all the stuff you're doing, catching these predators. I think that's very interesting. This is going to be one of the most informative interviews I've ever done. But keeping it light right off the bat, how did you get involved with Facebook and Amazon, and who is PayPal?
Okay, so that was actually what I was thinking about prior to you giving me the awesome gifts, what a bug bounty program is. So I don't personally own a bug bounty program, but I work with a team. I have a team of hackers that we all work together on projects. And to do that legally, there's things called bug bounties. So companies like Amazon, Facebook, YouTube, Netflix, all the huge companies out there, they offer a monetary value for a bug or a vulnerability that's found in their site. So what I mean by help protect these large organizations, it is through their bug bounty program. They may not be a direct client of the company, or some of them may be, but can't really talk about that publicly. But yes, I've helped protect all of the above.
So basically, this is like some type of a red cell program where you try to penetrate these big tech companies, and then they basically give you a reward if you reveal how you did it.
Right. So you have to you have to reveal how you did it. So let's say it's a informational bug. An informational bug could be you forgot that a page exists and it shows some of your employees' information. So that may be informational if it doesn't impact anything further than that. Whereas something very critical, like I could get access to your server or all the credit cards or all your clients attached to your company, that would be a critical vulnerability. And these companies are willing to pay depending on the severity of that vulnerability. So Apple, for example, if you were able to take over an iPhone, they'll pay you $1 million for something like that.
They'll pay you $1 million?
Yeah, $1 million for it. They call it a zero-click exploit, meaning I can send you something that you won't even know happened, and I have full access to your phone. $1 million bug bounty.
Have you done that before?
No, I haven't. I haven't personally found any bugs in the new iPhones. But if I did, I'd be sure to report it to Apple.
So, if you don't mind me asking, what's the biggest bounty you've collected, and what was it for?
I can't tell you what it was for, but I could tell you how, because there's disclosures and there's non-disclosures. So I can't disclose the company or what the vulnerability was, but it was for over it was $128,000 in credit on a platform. I chose that over the cash.
Really? Mm-hmm. So these are good sized bounties.
Yeah.
How many bounties have you collected?
I don't know. Quite a bit.
100, 200?
If you combine my team, hundreds.
Hundreds?
Yeah, but that isn't what I focus on anymore. I focus on the cybersecurity business, which is all software, and that's a lot more guaranteed. Whereas bug bounty, there's nothing against people that do bug bounties, but it's not guaranteed revenue or income. It's you have to just keep taking shots at companies trying to find something and hope that you get paid, where there's no stability in that.
Gotcha.
There's bug bounty hunters that make $1 million, $2 million a year, but then the next year maybe they make 10 grand or less, or they spend 6 months on one project and they make $0. It's just not sustainable for me.
Gotcha.
So I started a company with my business partners, Rick, Shawn, and Dan. And like I said, it's called pentester.com. It's very simple. You just go to the site, you put in the name of your website, you press scan, and it does a preliminary scan, tells you what, basically if you have any like low hanging fruit vulnerabilities and leaks, like passwords associated with your emails or your employees, and you can sign up for an account and do a more invasive scan that will give you a lot more information.
Interesting. Well, let's dive into your childhood.
Sure.
Where'd you grow up?
I grew up right outside of West Philadelphia in Delaware County, Pennsylvania, and I lived there most of my life.
What were you into as a kid?
For the most part, I was a normal kid, but after 8th grade or so, or starting 8th grade, I started to meet the wrong people, and I was in the wrong places, doing the wrong things, and I met some people that were on drugs that were a little older than me, and I started to adapt, and I started to go to these. At that time, there was a rave scene in Philadelphia, and I really liked that. I loved going to the raves and doing drugs, and acting like a nut, and I was just a young kid that nobody knew and I never told anybody my age back then. To be honest with you, I was lying to people about my age back then. And those raves turned into doing ecstasy and other types of drugs at the raves. And I found out over time that I didn't really like the raves as much as I liked the drugs. And then I figured out that when I took something to come down from the ecstasy, that I actually liked what I was coming down from the ecstasy with more than I liked the ecstasy.
Really?
And, yeah, which was opiates. And that turned into a bigger problem.
Yeah, that can turn into a massive problem.
Yeah.
Did you think you were a full-on addict?
At the time, yeah, I was in full belief that I was a drug addict. I was physically withdrawing from opiates at one point in my life. So yeah, I had every reason to believe that I was. And I don't know how far you want to go into it at this point, but there was a time where I realized that I went through a bad phase as a child, but I do know that addiction exists. I have a lot of it in my family, especially my dad's side, and I did some things to combat that, because of those reasons. But me personally, I haven't used drugs or alcohol in a very long time, since I was a child, pretty much, and no drugs. But I wouldn't say that I'm in recovery either. I kind of moved away from that.
What was the family life like? Good family life? You close with your parents?
So I'm very close with my mom. My grandfather passed away a few years ago, and he was like a father to me. He raised me, the best father I could have asked for. I wouldn't know what a father's like without him. And he passed a few years ago, and it was very rough, but I was blessed to be there. I was with him when he passed, and he had a great life, and was a great man. My mom is absolutely fantastic, has been supportive with me even at my absolute worst. And I put her through hell. And as for my dad, he's been in and out of my life. During this interview, while we speak right now, he is currently in jail for something stupid. This time it was, drinking. I think he had an open container of alcohol and he stole some stuff from Kohl's. But my dad and I have some stepbrothers and sisters that I love, and he, when he's messed up on drugs and alcohol, he's not the best dad. So yeah. we go on and off talking to each other.
So from what I understand, you're a high school dropout.
I am, yeah.
What grade did you drop out?
Going into 10th grade.
Going into 10th grade,
yes.
So you have up to a 9th grade education.
Yeah, technically, yeah.
And you are the number one ethical hacker in the world. How did you get into hacking?
It kind of just happened because I was very young, and it didn't just happen. I mean, there was a lot of stuff that happened in between it. But when I was very young, my grandparents had a computer at the house, and I don't know if you remember this, but back in the day, AOL used to send floppy disks in the mail, and they give you a trial. And I remember the shape of the floppy disk, and I remember seeing the front of this desktop that my grandpa, I think he brought it home from work or something back then, and I remember seeing the shape of the floppy disk and there was a little icon of it on the desktop computer. And I was like, I wonder what would happen if I put this this floppy disk in the computer. And I saw the AOL logo from the mail show up on the computer screen. And it blew my mind as a kid. It blew my mind. I was like, how did that just happen? You know,
How old are you?
I'm 29.
No, I mean, how old are you at this time?
I had to have been like 8, 9 years old at that time, maybe.
Okay.
And that blew my mind, and I wanted to know how it worked. You know, from that point on, I just had this obsession with how do computers work? Why did that just come from a piece of cardboard and show up on the screen? And you know, I just kept learning and learning about computers and learning, you know, fixing computers and meeting people, you know, that on the internet through AOL Instant Messenger and other apps. And then I found it actually started with a marketing community at first. People that were doing digital marketing back in the AOL days, so just spamming out massive amount of emails, like millions and millions of emails. But then in that community, there were some hackers, you know, people that were writing automation tools and finding exploits and finding ways to convert on ads better and this and that. And I ran across this one guy who ended up going to prison later for hacking, I believe it was AT&T and a few other major cellular carriers. He stole some prepaid minutes, and back then prepaid minutes were a big deal. So he stole millions of dollars worth of prepaid minutes with his partner in crime, Edwin. Edwin was his partner, and the guy that I'm talking about is Robert Moore, and his hacker name he went by Moore. And he ended up stealing these credits. And Edwin would go to these places all over, the malls and the small cell phone stores, and he would resell these credits for a cheaper price than the carriers would sell them for. So they sold, like I said, a ton of those. And Edwin decided to leave the country. He left the country. He was doing all this fancy stuff, private jets, yachts, hotels, girls, cars, doing it all. While Rob was sitting at home, you know, hacking for this guy. This guy wasn't doing anything but selling the minutes. And then Rob, you know, gets a knock on the door. It's the FBI. And they come in, they seize everything he has. Rob ends up out of all of this, out of millions of dollars worth of sold minutes, Rob ends up with like 20 grand in profit and 2 years in federal prison. And they confiscated all of his stuff, everything that he had. And he gets out of prison. And Edwin's on the run. They finally get Edwin. I believe Edwin got like 10 years or something, which he deserves it, honestly, because he took advantage of Rob in a weak point in Rob's life. He took advantage, and Rob is not meant for federal prison. He ended up there. But yeah, Rob is the person that, like I was saying with the instant messenger chats, Rob's the person that motivated me to learn about hacking and spent the time with me and showed me some things that, because there weren't learning sites like TryHackMe or GitHub.com or Stack Overflow or Google. None of that existed back then. So you couldn't look up certain methodologies or hacking or how to do reconnaissance. It didn't exist. Mm-hmm. So Rob gave me some pointers. It's not a cookie cutter thing. Hacking is very broad.
So let's backtrack real quick. How old? So I believe you said you started hacking at 10 years old.
11. Yeah.
11
turning
years
11.
old.
Yeah, about 11.
So
I would say 11.
At what point are you conversing with Moore?
Probably when I was 11. He might not have known I was 11. But
how did you find him?
Group chats, back in the AIM days.
How does that conversation go? Hey, I'm looking for some hackers to teach me a couple things.
No, I was marketing and interested. I was just active in the communities, and I knew what Rob was capable of. He could do some really cool stuff with a computer, and it was really just asking questions, And Rob and I got along so well, and I actually flew out to see him later in life to Washington State. I stayed with him for a week, but we kicked it off for some reason. I don't know what that reason was. I can't remember that far back, but Rob was the person that helped me at least get started in what I do today.
What were you wanting to hack in at 11?
I think I was more interested in just shutting people's internet connections off, like simple stuff, nothing crazy, and making money, marketing. It's a lot of 11-year-olds would probably not think about selling things on the internet, but I wasn't making a ton of money as a kid. I didn't have rich parents or anything like that, and I wanted to make money ASAP. And I knew that digital marketing at like the groups that I was in, I was seeing all these people making fortunes selling. One example, we were selling acai weight loss berries, and it was a huge thing back in the day. And there was some affiliate marketers making 30 grand a day doing AOL spams, making millions of emails per day, making 30 grand a day on average. It would blow my mind. And I don't remember every specific about names and what programs they were on, like affiliate programs they were on back then, but I knew I wanted to be involved in that. And I thought that automating it and finding exploits in I guess websites or people's computers would enhance my profits, and it did. It definitely. But then all the money that I made there, all the money I made, it all went to drugs and doing dumb stuff. But I wouldn't take it back because I learned a lot. I grew up quick, and there's some benefits there and some things that aren't so good there. But
well, let's stick with childhood hacking. So, at what point in your childhood did you start making money doing this?
Probably 11, 12 years old. I was right into it.
I mean, how much money are we talking?
Couple grand here and there, which is a lot for a kid. Yeah.
That's a lot for a 12-year-old.
It felt like $1 billion to me.
And so, were you always an ethical hacker?
No.
What are some of the things that you've done that you've hacked into? What's one of the... Give us some examples.
So, I guess depends on what you want to know. Like people or organizations or both.
Let's go into all of it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean, I'm limited by what I could say here. I know there's a statute of limitations. I'm sure it'd be fine, but there's some things that I regret that I would take back. But there is one thing out there that's public. There's a rap song that mentions me about, are you familiar with crypto mining?
Yes.
Okay, so I hacked a ton of computers. I had a method. I won't explain the method because it still could work today, where I could infect computers with malware. And a lot of people that infect computers with malware, which is just people, if you don't know what malware is, it comes in various forms, but the type that I'm talking about is called a remote access Trojan. And that's like the equivalent of me standing in front of your computer with full access to it, and I can look through your webcam, I can control your keyboard, your mouse, look at your screen, do anything I want without you knowing that I'm there. And I infected a ton of computers, and instead of having the remote access Trojan functionality where I could I could take control of these computers, I decided to do crypto mining. So at that time it was just Bitcoin and Litecoin, and I had quite a bit of infected computers mining at all times. The thing that I did that was, if you could say nice, was that when the computer was idle, it would use 100% of the processor and the graphics card to mine the coins. And when the computer was in use, it would only use 20%. So they wouldn't, have a horrible experience with their computer just being bogged down the entire time. But that was, I guess... when Bitcoin started around that time.
So you had hacked into how many computers? 100?
Thousands.
Thousands
tens
of computers?
thousands. Yeah, probably tens of thousands.
And so all of these tens of thousands of computers are mining cryptocurrency and going into your account?
They were going into a pool. So pooled mining is a lot of people mining together, and then all of the whoever's putting in the most, I guess the reward is split based upon the contribution. So if you're contributing twice as much as me, you'll get twice as much of a profit. So it was all being sent to a specific pool offshores. Why
did that stop?
I have morals, and there was a situation that came up where obviously the bots, if let's say I had to change a pool or something went wrong, they had to be updated across the board. Every single bot would have to be updated to be pointed at a different address. I still had access to be able to do that, and I was in a community at that time with some bad people who wanted to, kind of buy access to my bots, and I wasn't okay with that, and it kind of lined up perfectly with another business opportunity that I had in life where I kind of just said, you know what, screw this, I'm done, not taking the risk. If I get in trouble with what they call a botnet, if I get in trouble with this botnet, I'm doing a long time in prison, and it's not worth it to me. I can't get in trouble. And I stopped. I stopped on my own will. I didn't get caught. There was people that knew about it, hackers, they may not have known it was me. Now they know it's me, but at the time they didn't know that it was me. But no, I didn't get caught, and I'm past the statute of limitations. I didn't hurt anybody. Maybe your power bill went up a couple cents, but that's about it. Yeah, that was the extent of that specific hack.
Was that the one that was that the hack that changed you, that turned you into ethical, or was there?
I would say yeah. I would say yeah, because around that time I switched to doing cybersecurity and starting the other businesses that we're going to talk about. I would say yeah. I never really thought of it till now, but I would say that's when I became an ethical hacker rather than a gray hat or a black hat hacker.
What is a gray hat hacker?
Gray hat is in between. So somebody that, for example, if I went to your website, I hacked your website and I sent you an email and said, hey, I found a vulnerability on your site. You could call, the FBI and say, hey, this guy just hacked my site and I didn't give him permission. Or you could say, thank you. That's a gray hat hacker.
And a black hat?
Black hat just, takes over your website, tells you, hey, you better pay me or I'm releasing all your information or deleting your site. And here's all the information about you and your wife and your family and everything, blah, 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 blah. Black hat hackers are, they're kind of ruthless.
So you're in the cryptocurrency business. Being a hacker, or you were, is this the way of the future? Are we going to, what do you think? What's your opinion on this?
Yeah. I mean, cybersecurity and keeping yourself protected on the internet is the future. If you're not paying attention to that now, and you're not seeing your browser that's warning you, the TV that's warning you, the constant news, the constant ransomware notices. If you haven't heard about the active breaches right now on all of these major websites and you're not doing anything about it, you really should start, because it is the future and it's only going to get more intense and it's only going to get more dangerous. And everything that you have, is attached to the internet. Everything. Unless you live out in the middle of nowhere with no internet connection, and even the power in your house is controlled by a remote switch. What if I turned off your power for a week and you live out in the middle of nowhere? You really have to take your security seriously. That's just a random thought, but it's a possibility.
I'm glad you brought that up, but I actually meant cryptocurrency. What's your opinion on cryptocurrency? Is it here to stay? It's very volatile.
Very volatile. I think that Bitcoin's here to stay.
Do you?
Yeah.
Are you all in on Bitcoin?
Can't confirm or deny.
Would you like to see Bitcoin?
I would love to see Bitcoin hit the moon. It's doing well at this moment. It's around 30 grand. But I would love to see what it was projected to be at in the 100,000s, possibly $1 million a coin.
You think that's possible?
Absolutely. It was, when I started, it was only, maybe a couple dollars at the most per coin.
Damn. Well, what brought you to South Florida?
I started a marketing company to help people get into drug and alcohol rehab. And for anyone that's familiar with that topic, they're going to think, okay, well, he had a marketing company. He was doing a thing called patient brokering, which is a felony. And I was not doing that. I didn't even know what that was at the time. I just knew I could generate leads from the internet. And I started this company called The Treatment Source, which was just a website. They filled out a survey, and the survey would bring them to a 1-800 number if they had mental health or substance abuse. They changed the term, substance use issues. And I would then send those patients or clients to a drug and alcohol rehab in South Florida. And I was generating a ton of clients and doing really well with the internet marketing campaigns. And one day I get a call from a guy who says he was like, hey, you won't come to Fort Lauderdale Airport right now. And this is like, right when I'm waking up. And I was like, yeah, I will. Like, I was just, he thought I was joking. I called him a couple hours later. I booked my flight and I was like, hey, I'm at the Fort Lauderdale Airport. He didn't believe me. And he picks me up at the airport. And, he was blown away that I even showed up there. But, I had just like a week's worth of stuff packed with me. And when I got back to his house, we were talking about, like the rehab business and, the marketing and all the intricacies of the industry. And we became good friends at that point. And I was thinking, well, why don't I start a rehab? Like maybe I could do this myself. If I can generate the business for a rehab, maybe we could do it together. So he was like, yeah, well, I own one now, obviously, because he was one of my customers at that time. And he decided to sell his shares in his rehab and use that to to invest into one with me. And we started a treatment center together. And I decided to move to Florida. So I went back to PA. I put my car on the back of a U-Haul, filled it up with all my stuff, drove down to Florida from Pennsylvania and never looked back, and started a drug and alcohol and mental health facility.
How old are you at this point?
22?
You started a rehab at age 22?
Yeah, I think I was the youngest owners in the treatment world at that time, yeah.
Wow. So what was your motivation for this? Because you are, from our research, you are all about helping humans.
Yeah. So my motivation was, like I said earlier, that, my family, my dad's side specifically had some serious drug issues, still dealing with them. I went through some serious drug issues. A lot of friends of mine have gone through drug issues or still going through drug issues. And I just, maybe I got this from my mom, my grandma, my grandpa, but I just love to help people. I don't know what it is. It makes me happy. And I guess, what would that be? Hospitality. Hospitality has always just been something that makes me happy.
Well, you had some pretty tragic experiences as well, if I remember correctly. Do you want to go into any of those?
Well, there's a lot of them. So are you talking more of the addiction side of things? Or
Yeah, you had a couple friends die.
Mm-hmm. So I've had a lot of friends die due to heroin overdose or carfentanil, fentanyl, butyl-fentanyl, acetyl-fentanyl, all of the different fentanyls that are getting over here and being, put in heroin. And I understand that they chose to use drugs regardless of what was in it, but they definitely weren't planning on dying.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you, I lost my Uncle Richie to an overdose. I lost my best friend Ricky Rivas to an overdose. And I was, I'll tell you that story because this is how something else happened. But I got a call from Ricky's parents a couple years back, and they were like, I haven't heard from Ricky since this morning. And do you mind going over there and checking on him? And he was about a 15-minute drive from me. And he wasn't answering my phone calls. And at this time, he wasn't on drugs. He wasn't messing up or anything. He worked for me at the rehab, and we spent every day together. So I go to his condo. I walk in the door, and I look to my left, and I see him in the bathroom, and he had his face up against the vanity. And, he was wearing his shorts, and I saw that he had a needle and a spoon, and just, it didn't look good. So I ran over and I tried to wake him up, and he wasn't waking up. So I called 911, and I'm running down through the elevator to go to get, I didn't think anything was wrong with him. So I didn't bring Narcan upstairs or anything. Like, Narcan's what saves opiate addicts from overdosing. So I ran to my car, I grabbed that, 911's telling me what to do. I get back to the room, and, they told me to take him off the toilet and put him on the floor, and his body was still in the position that it was in when I saw him sitting there, and his face was sideways from being on the vanity, and I'm still in denial at this point. I gave him the Narcan in his leg. I was, giving him CPR like they said to do, and I remember when the cops showed up, and the ambulance showed up. They didn't talk to his parents. I did. I told his parents that their son was gone, and which I thought was a little bit ridiculous. I thought that the detective should be the one handling that, especially with how I was. I was crying my eyes out, like he lost my best friend.
The,
Sorry.
I lost my best friend to addiction too.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, my best friend, he was a SEAL. I worked with him at the agency. He experienced a lot of trauma, became addicted to opiates for injuries, and that just became a straight addiction. They cut the pills. He went to heroin, and I spent a lot of time trying to get him better. Moved in with me, got him back on his feet, got his family involved, got him into therapy. I mean, I love this motherfucker. We'd been through a lot of shit together. And he was a phenomenal hockey player. And, I used to live in Boca Raton too. And so he lived right by me. And he kept telling me he wanted to start this hockey nonprofit for wounded warriors, and that he was going to get the Panthers to sponsor it. Now, he's one of the smartest human beings I've ever met in my life, even when he was high. But as it got worse and worse, you didn't even, just his appearance, you didn't even want to be around him. He just looked sick. And I was, in the back of my head, I was like, yeah, okay, you're going to get the Panthers on board. Well, I'll be damned. The son of a bitch got the fucking Panthers on board. And I think it was the first NHL team to sponsor a wounded warrior. You had to be a disabled veteran to play on the hockey team.
Okay.
He had somebody helping him. The Panthers called the guy that was helping him to tell him, hey, we're going to do it. We're going to sponsor the team. You got the NHL sponsor. We're going to sponsor the team. That guy went over to tell him, hey, dude, you did it.
Yeah.
And nobody answered the door. And trying to keep my shit together here.
Yeah.
But
I understand.
yeah, he didn't answer the door. Got on a stool to see, the top part, and there he was, laying on the floor, and
Sorry to hear that, man.
yeah.
I know what it feels like.
I just want you to know I can relate, and I've lost a lot of friends to addiction.
Likewise, that was the first one, obviously, that happened to me, and I found them, and I can't explain that, and you can't bring them back. But what you can do is educate people and try to help more people so that it doesn't happen to them. And you can't fix everybody. You can't get it through everybody's head that they need to stop, and it's dangerous, and it's not just heroin and opiates like it used to be. It's it's coke, it's meth, it's painkillers that are pressed, it's Xanax. They all are being cut with fentanyl. This isn't a conspiracy theory; it's fact. The number one leading cause of death, 18 to 49 right now, is fentanyl. That's more than car accidents, more than anything else. 18 to 49 years old, fentanyl. So any drug that you're doing, you have to be careful that, not be careful. You have to just try to get away from it or get a testing kit. If you refuse to stop doing drugs, get testing kits, because fentanyl will kill you.
Yeah.
And it's pretty rough. But with the rehab program, around that time, not long before I lost Ricky, I lost another friend, Drew, and my business partner at that time. Him and I, we both, were friends with Drew, and I was closer with Ricky, and we decided to start a scholarship program, and it was called. We named it the Drew Badgley Scholarship Program, which was to help people get into drug rehab that didn't have the financial means to pay. And the reason, that's important is because when I was a kid, I didn't have private health insurance or money. So there was no way I was going to a nice facility like one I had or other ones in Florida or other states that are private. The government facilities, they take Medicare and Medicaid, but some of them have 2-3 month waiting lists. Addicts can't wait 2-3 months. They die, and as you know, it could take one bad dose, they're dead.
Yeah.
So having a private facility and somebody that really wants to get clean, it's if they don't have the right insurance or the right money, you have to turn them down. And it just bothered me so much that you can't help somebody, that I was in their shoes. I wanted help, or people in my family wanted help and couldn't get it. And I started that scholarship program with my old business partner, and we brought a ton of people in, probably over 100 in the 7 or so years that I was there. It may be even more than that, but at least 100. And full scholarship. No, they didn't spend a dollar. And a lot of them did well. Some of them relapsed. You can't fix everybody. But we turned that after time went on. We adapted to how the scholarship program. We built programs around that. We built programs around trauma. We built programs around specifically mental health, specifically co-occurring mental health and substance use disorder, all kinds of different things. And then we branched out. So we opened a detox, which was another facility, because at that point we had partial hospitalization, intensive outpatient, and outpatient, but we didn't have detox. So we were sending them to other facilities, and then we would take them. So then we had 2 facilities. And then we realized, okay, well, a lot of our people we were getting are coming from New Jersey or Pennsylvania, New York, Virginia, Massachusetts, up in that area. So we decided to start another facility in New Jersey. And we started, it was called the Shore Detox, but it got changed again. The name of it got changed. And I sold my shares in the rehab about 3 years ago, right around the time that I started to, catch the predators. And I got into the software as a service world and buying software companies and operating them and selling them. So
You are an amazing human being, man.
thanks.
To do something that has that amount of impact at that young age. I mean, that's just to do it in general is amazing. And you did it at what'd you say, 22?
22, yeah.
That's incredible. You realize that?
I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
I'm still on it. I'm still on the mission. It's not over,
Good for you, man.
There's so much more to come. And one spot that I forgot there was the electronic medical record system that we use, like the same thing you would see at your doctor when they put in notes about you being, at your visit. We used one called, I won't say the name, but we used one, and I got involved with those guys afterwards. And after I sold my shares, I went right to their office and I set up one of those plastic tables, put my computer in there, even though I wasn't involved at that time in that business. I wanted to work out of their office because I liked the software world. And at that point, I wasn't sure if I was going to do digital marketing or I was going to do cybersecurity or both. But being around them every day, I was like, yeah, I got to do it with them. So I got involved with their businesses, and then we decided together we're going to do a ton of software companies. And that's where we're at now, like I said, with pentester.com and many more. But that's the one that makes the most sense to talk about here today.
Well, let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll dive into that.
Okay.
Cool. I want to tell you all about this new meat delivery service I found called Moink. What I really, really like about Moink is they are from a small, rural farm town in Missouri, LaBelle, Missouri, right by where I grew up, and I love supporting small town business USA. Now, when I started looking into Moink, they educated me on the meat industry, and I want to share with you all a couple of facts, according to Moinked magazine. 60% of all pork is produced by one company in the U.S., and that is 100% owned by the Chinese. 4 companies control over 80% of the meat industry in the United States. More than 10,000 different additives are allowed in the U.S. food supply. 99% of chicken, 95% of hogs, 78% of cattle in the U.S. are raised in confinement buildings or feedlots. It means they're not moving around freely. 80% of the antibiotics consumed in the U.S. are fed to animals. Here's a stat. In 2016, 18.4 million pounds of antibiotics were sold for livestock. And that's what you're eating. Suicide rates amongst farmers are the highest than any other profession, and that includes veterans, believe it or not. I found that alarming. Now, here's what Moink is doing to combat some of this stuff, which I really appreciate. Their livestock is 100% born and raised and harvested humanely in the United States of America. Their farms practice regenerative agricultural methods. They are free of GMOs, antibiotics, and all hormones. Their Alaska salmon is wild caught. Their beef and lamb are grass-fed and grass-finished. Their boxes ship from rural America, right in small-town Missouri. Love it. Their chicken and pork are pasture-raised. So, guys, check them out. Moink. Keep America farming going by signing up at moinkbox.com/SRS. Right now, listeners on this show get free bacon in your first box. It will be the best bacon you will ever taste, but it's only for a limited time. It's spelled Moink, MOINK, box.com/SRS. That's moinkbox.com/SRS. Ladies and gentlemen, this episode of the Shawn Ryan Show is sponsored by HVMN's Ketone IQ. Ketone IQ can help you with energy, focus, appetite control, endurance, and recovery. They now have these super convenient little mini shots you can take with you on the go, or you can get the OG that has multiple shots and one thing, keep it in the fridge, keep it cold. That's how I like to take it with these new shots. Slam it down, get the energy and focus you need throughout the day. I take this supplement before my morning workout. I also take it when I'm studying for these long interviews, and I take it during the interviews. Keeps me going, keeps me energetic. I think this would be a great supplement for all of you to try. They're also available in your local Sprouts stores. So if you live near Sprouts, head over there. Go get yourself some Ketone IQ and get energized. Definitely a unique opportunity here in offering my audience 20% off your order of Ketone IQ. You can find Ketone IQ at hvmn.com. Use the promo code Shawn at checkout to save 20%. Plus, if you subscribe, you can save even more. This stuff is great for daily use. Promo code Shawn. Again, that's hvmn.com. Promo code Shawn for 20% off Ketone IQ. All right, Ryan, we're back from the break. We're getting ready to dive into your company, Pentester. So what is Pentester?
Pentester is a software solution for cybersecurity and protection. So there's a pen test, a manual pen test, where somebody would go into your company or a group of people where they would check down a list of boxes of things for your compliance, look for vulnerabilities based upon your platform, and give you a report of findings, vulnerabilities. Pentester.com, it can get confusing because pen testing and pentester.com are like, pen testing is a term. Pentester.com is the name of my company.
Okay.
What we do is we try to automate as much of what a pen tester would do digitally. So pentester.com is an automated web scanning framework. As of right now, we're building it out to be more of a more than just a web scanner. And sorry, I'm getting mixed up.
No, it's fine. So let me just ask this then. So
it's hard to explain because I'm trying to make everybody understand.
I get it because I'm a dummy with this stuff. So let me ask you a question then. So if I go to pentester.com and I type in ShawnRyanShow.com, what kind of vulnerabilities might I have? Here's my website. I sell gummy bears on it, and we post upcoming episodes. Your episode's going to be on there. We collect email addresses for a database to We send out a free newsletter all the time.
Right.
And then we got like some, if you want to apply for a job here, every once in a while we'll post that. They can run their resumes. We just did a thing where we're looking for a new video editor for shorts, and they're sending in a bunch of, we're having a competition for it. But for a website like, and we have advertising inquiries. For a website like that, it's run off Shopify.
Shopify.
What
Okay.
kind of vulnerabilities would I be looking at?
So there's many things. The first thing that came to mind was email breaches. So if you have like contact@ShawnRyan.com, is that your website, ShawnRyan.com?
ShawnRyanShow.com.
ShawnRyanShow.com. So contact@ShawnRyanShow.com, or Shawn Ryan at the website, or anyone that works here. I can look up that domain with pen tester and see if it's been involved in any breaches, or if it's been involved in any botnet traffic where it's scraped all of the cookies and passwords from people's browsers.
Okay,
that would
hold on. What is botnet what? Tracking?
traffic.
Botnet traffic.
Right. So let's say you were infected with some type of malware, and that person grabs from your Chrome or your Safari all of the saved passwords and all of the sessions. Like a website, to be signed into a website, you have to have a session. So if I took that session and replaced mine with yours, now I'm you without a password. So some of that stuff gets released on the dark web, or it's Tor. I like to call it Tor, Tor, the onion router. That's what the dark web is. But it gets released there, and sometimes on the publicly facing web. And a lot of people aren't aware of what information is actually out there. So when you put your website into Pen Tester, you get a preliminary report that shows all of that data that has been exposed related to your domain name. Well, it goes a little further than that, because let's say it doesn't find anything. Maybe you're a brand new website, and Shopify is doing a good job with all of the plugins you're using. Because remember, each one of those plugins is by an individual creator that could have messed up at any point in their code. So you're only as strong as your strongest plugin. So that's one thing there. Shopify has their own security, and then you have your own security based on your plugins. As for the emails, let's say I get nothing with the ShawnRyanShow.com. Now I'm going to start looking into the Gmail accounts of Gmail, Hotmail, AOL, Yahoo, whatever, of all of your employees, your family, and then I'm going to see breaches associated with them, which I guarantee you that there is. Like I am so sure that if I pulled my laptop out and I put in one of your personal emails, that I will have at least one of your passwords. And that password could be reused for Shopify, or maybe it's used to access that list of data with your customers that you were saying you have the client list, the newsletters, the applicants for the jobs. Maybe it's the same password you use for that. And now I have access to that data that I could either ransom you with, I could escalate my permissions on Shopify with, and take over your entire site. Maybe it's the credentials to your social media platform, like YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, whatever you're on. Those credentials could be reused. So it is important, like as you said, using a password manager, because all it takes is someone like me, or with a bad moral compass, to take advantage of everything that you have.
Could you demonstrate that right now?
Yeah.
Just type it in my email.
Yeah, for sure. I'll try the Shawn Ryan Show first. .com, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have there is some sensitive information, but nothing that would be a big deal. I could show it to you actually if you want. It's not going to hurt anything.
Yeah, let's see it.
So this isn't specifically passwords there. But it is what came from, leaks on the internet. This isn't, it isn't anything other than leaked data. So nothing there is sensitive to my eyes.
So we're doing a good job.
For the Shawn Ryan Show. But if you throw in one of your Gmails there, or something, any other email that you may be using for a long period of time.
Just type it in here.
Yep. take a second to load. It loads over 140 billion records. Nothing on that website. There's 2 E's supposed to be there.
Yeah.
I would assume so.
No shit.
I don't see.
All right,
let
my
me-
IT guy's gonna live to see another paycheck.
Well, it's not your IT guy though. Even that one just doesn't seem to be registered with a bunch of accounts. Like for example, if you were in 2019 LinkedIn breach or Dropbox, if you use any of that, like Vigilante.
Vigilance Elite.
I keep saying Vigilante. I'm sorry. Vigilance Elite. I do have his password, and I do have the address.
Whose address?
I have a apartment in.
Interesting.
I have an IP address for. I have an address in where we're at right now, with the zip code ending in 64 and a phone number ending in.
All that shit's on there?
Yeah. And I have a lot more than that if you want to take a look yourself.
Oh, yeah. Let me take a look.
Yeah. I'm halfway through it, but you can scroll up and down.
How do we clean this up?
You can't. You just got to change. You got to change the information if you don't want it there. There is no way to get rid of it.
Okay, so what? Oh, my gosh.
So that's why small and medium-sized businesses that don't realize that they're a target, they're more of a target than they think. They get attacked because they either have exposed credentials out there or they're using old technology, and they just get grouped in with a ton of other people that are, similar targets. A lot of them don't realize they need to take their cybersecurity more seriously. And pen tester, this is kind of like a shameless plug, but for $50 a month, it's worth the money. We are the cheapest, to my knowledge, in the cybersecurity world, and we're not only giving you a software solution, but we're giving you a hands-on, manual confirmation for anything that we're not sure of. So for $50, if someone would have offered that to me prior to being a hacker myself, I was a little kid, but let's just say I wasn't ever, I'd be more than happy to pay $50 a month for something like this. This is just one of many things we offer.
Okay.
So
is my website safe for customers?
That's up to you to decide. I mean, I haven't ran a scan. This is just a breach checker.
Oh, that's just a breach check?
Yeah. Yeah, and we have more records than literally anyone else on the internet. So we're going to be able to tell you more than most most people. Some people are going to have access to these private databases that we have, as well as the public ones. But if you download certain other competition websites that sign up for other competition websites that say that they offer breach protection or the leak protection, breach or leak protection is what they'll say. They don't have a database as big as ours. I'm sure of it. I mean, I'm very confident in that. And this is without running, like I said, this is without running a scan. So, I'll keep the computer ready for when you want to see a face, but I'll show you how wild that can get.
Let's do that.
Oh, you want to see it?
Yeah, let's do it. So describe what you're going to do.
So I could do my face, your face, anyone's face that you want to do. Does it? You just tell me whose face.
Yeah, we can do my face.
Okay. It's going to be a lot of pictures of you, obviously, because of your podcast, but.
So basically what you're doing is you're taking a photo of me. It's going to do the facial recognition and find every image on the internet that has my face in it.
Yeah.
Whether I'm tagged in it or not.
Yes.
Like it's strict. You could find my face in the middle of the Super Bowl stadium.
As long as it's on the internet. So yeah, let me take a picture and send it to myself. Okay. So I took a picture of your face, and you can see it's just a picture that this has never been on the internet, right?
That is a really good looking man right there.
Amazing. So I uploaded that to here.
So you took a picture.
Yep.
And
Now you can go through these and see if there's anything that's not. I don't know if there's going to be anything that you don't want on there or not. But if you click them, it will give you a link to where that picture's hosted at. But remember, I used a picture that was never on the internet to find those photos of you. So it measured your face. It measured 120 points on your face, associated a picture that's never touched the internet with you. And for somebody that doesn't have as big of a following or as many photos out there, there may be less results, but you could be in a photo that you're not aware of, or there could be some stuff out there that you would want to be aware of.
Oh, wow. This is like everything.
Yeah.
It just keeps going.
Cool stuff.
That's insane.
Like most people, you'd be crazy not to pay $50 for that as a business. It's just getting that messaging in somebody's hands, in somebody's brain. When they look at the website or they see an ad for, hey, are you taking your cybersecurity seriously? And then they run their website through a light scan. They see, here's some breach credentials. Here's some pictures that we found on your site. Here's some vulnerabilities. And you have an option to sign up for free, which you get your preliminary report for free. And then you have your option for $50 for a small business. And you just say, you know what, screw it. I don't need that. I can't comprehend why you wouldn't want that. So, yeah.
Damn. Let's talk about the dark web. So I hear a lot about the dark web. Well,
Yeah,
you
it's
can
a
buy
buzzword.
drugs on it. You can find child pornography on it. It sounds like it's just the black market, the new black market, correct?
Yeah.
So I've heard about it. I know about it. I know it's all stuff you shouldn't be doing. But how do you get on it? Where is it?
Okay, so the dark web itself isn't a marketplace like what you're thinking. All right, so the black market or whatever you want to call it, once you're connected to the dark web, Tor, the onion router, what I was explaining before, you still need to know where to go to visit these horrible websites. And they're like, imagine a very long string of letters and numbers, and the website, instead of .com, it'd be .onion. You can't visit those websites in a regular browser. You have to do that while you're connected to the onion router, which you could download at the TOR's website. And then you could go to a thing called like the Hidden Wiki, and the Hidden Wiki will show you all different categories of these websites with a link to them. And there's marketplaces, there's horrible things on there, like you said, for kids, and even like murder for hire. There's counterfeit money, there's fake IDs. There are all kinds of different websites that do horrible things.
What is the onion router?
So the onion router is a tool, an open source project that was created to anonymize your traffic on the internet. And it decentralizes, I believe decentralized would be the word for it, your internet traffic. It keeps you anonymous beyond a VPN. I would still recommend that you use a virtual private network on top of Tor if you want to be anonymous, but it's just a layer of security that's free, and it keeps it's like, for example, let's say you use Comcast for your internet service provider. They could see that you're using Tor, but they can't see what you're looking at. If you use a VPN and then you use Tor, they can only tell you're using a VPN, but they can't tell you're using Tor. So it's just an internet within an internet.
So can I check my email through the dark web?
Yes, you can go to any website.
Would you recommend using the dark web to just do regular
It's slow as hell.
internet stuff?
It's very slow, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you could, and it would keep you safer, but it's not a foolproof way to keep yourself safe, and it's painstakingly slow.
Okay. Do you use the dark web?
For investigations, yeah.
What kind of investigations?
For like the predator and pedophile cases, yeah.
So are you able to track these guys down from the dark web, even though they're technically anonymous?
A lot of times it doesn't need to go that far. A lot of times these guys will use their regular emails, or they'll use an IP address that's been, they'll reuse for multiple emails, or their face that they're using as their profile picture. I can, find them from the same way I just found your face, or they're using a phone number that traces right back to them. The dark web, it's not really a huge part of catching predators and pedophiles. One thing, I guess the only thing on the dark web, quote unquote, I hate that word, but the dark web, quote unquote, that I had access to was when I originally hacked the website that we're going to talk about. They branched out to have not only a website on the clear net, on the regular internet, but their website was mirrored on the dark web. And I had 3 backdoors in their system, and it branched out over to the dark web. So I had a backdoor on the dark web too, which was kind of a cool thing to have, because I needed to be connected to Tor, the onion router, to connect to my backdoor. But that was I was only using that backdoor to exfiltrate data every single day, which was just user information, because I didn't want to get their posts or anything. I didn't want to be in possession of anything horrible that they were sending each other. But their user info was enough for us, as I'm sure you'll learn shortly.
Yeah. What are some things that people can do to protect themselves from hackers? Let me rephrase this quote. Let me back up. What are some vulnerabilities? Just let's go through all the things that you personally could hack if you wanted to.
It's countless, but I could give you some major daily things.
Absolutely. Let's talk about some of the devices. Those devices you have right here. Let's talk about all the stuff you can hack into.
Sure.
And then we'll get into maybe how we can prevent that a little bit.
So I guess we'll just start with a daily routine. You wake up in the morning, you make your coffee, or maybe you take your phone off the charger, and you check your phone in the morning. You might check your email. You got to make sure every email that you have while you're half asleep is coming from a real person. It's not a phishing email, someone pretending to be a company that they're not, stealing your credentials. Then you go outside to your garage, you get in your car, and you have to make sure that there's nobody out there listening for your car key frequency while jamming your car, so that they could steal your car later or access your car later. And then when you go hit your garage door button, that somebody doesn't capture that frequency on 433 megahertz. Those rolling codes have already been broken for most of the models. So then you get in your car and you're driving to your office or to your kid's school, doing whatever you want. And you could get out, you let your kid out to school, and now somebody, as you walk into school, just skimmed your back pocket and stole your credit card information. So, all of that, plus, anything remote, infrared, like a TV remote that goes for projectors, audio devices, ceiling fans, very simple stuff, along with access control badges, anything sub-gigahertz, like key fobs or remote controls for anything. Parking gates, so much.
Everything.
Everything, anything with a battery and a connection, a remote connection, in any type of way where it reaches the outside of that device is hackable or has been hacked.
What are these devices here?
This is a water bottle. So this right here is this is a Flipper Zero with some custom modifications. And it does a lot. So this is just a proof of concept device, but when you start to add your own little additions onto it like this, let me enable, for example, Wi-Fi. I'm not gonna hack your Wi-Fi, but I'll give you a little example of what I could do. I'll just do something stupid, but. Okay, and then we'll do, I'm not going to shut your network down. Okay, so now if I could show you on my phone, or you could look at your phone, but you'll see that instead of me mirroring your network, I just created a bunch of fake networks. So all of these networks here, they probably appear to be legitimate, right?
Yeah.
But they're not.
These are all fake networks?
They're all powered by me. So as soon as you connect to any of those, I have your password, I have anything in between. So that's one thing. That's just Wi-Fi.
And you just, oh man. So is this how people are stealing information
This is one of many ways.
in an airport?
In an airport? Oh yeah, I mean airport, Starbucks. When you, it's called a man-in-the-middle attack. So if I'm on the same network as you, I can essentially control the traffic, as if I was the modem or router. So instead of when you type google.com, instead of your computer telling the router you want google.com, you're telling my computer you want google.com, and I'm giving you what I'm telling you google.com is. So it would be called a DNS attack. So
Is this what people are using in the airports when there's?
not this
I've heard
specific
about-
device. This is just something that I concocted together. But the flipper you can buy. This thing on the top here is custom.
I guess what I'm asking is this the method they throw? So could you what is like Wi-Fi flight or GoGo?
GoGo in flight.
Yes,
Oh,
GoGo.
well, they're actually. I mean, you can hack anything, but GoGo in flight they have a pretty good segment on their network, so you're pretty safe with GoGo. There's a chance of getting hacked, but not the same as like a Starbucks or here. Like your network has to be segmented into chunks,
Okay.
and GoGo segments it pretty well.
Okay. I guess what I'm saying is, could you create a fake Wi-Fi network with that thing that says "GoGo in flight 1"?
Yeah,
Where
I could-
people are
I could
like,
do that
"Oh, that
now."
must be it."
I could do that here. I mean, I can make any. They're called BSSIDs, SSIDs, the name of a network. You could do that with any name, but instead of that, what you do is you just scan the local area, and then I know all the networks names around here, and then I'll target all of them at the same time, so that way anyone in this complex or where we're at, anyone that connects to a network is going to think it's their network, and they're going to connect to me instead.
Holy shit.
That's just one of many Wi-Fi attacks. So there's many ways. with
Yeah.
Wi-Fi.
What
That's
else
just-
can this thing do? This thing's like the size of the palm of your hand.
Yeah, well, with this little custom extension, especially when I have my big. These aren't the big antennas, but I got big antennas because I want to get long range. But that's Wi-Fi. This side of things is also Wi-Fi, but also it's an NRF 24, so it does wireless mice and keyboards. So if you use a wireless mouse and keyboard, not every single one of them is vulnerable, but a lot of them are. I'd highly recommend you go back to wired, even though it sounds old school. That's what you should do, because I could control your mouse and keyboard with this device and send keystrokes way faster than you can type them, and take over your computer without even having to see you or it. So I could do that through the wall.
This is scaring the shit out of me.
And then the sub-gigahertz stuff with bigger antennas, of course, I can go further away. So with the car keys, garages, gates, anything that's on radio frequency, I could do with this. RFID, that's access control badges for doors and pool keys, anything that has like a little beeper where you beep into the door.
Yeah.
And NFC is credit cards and access control. And it does also some more things too. You could also I could tap your phone and give you my Instagram, or tap your phone and give you my business card. So NFC is a little more versatile than RFID, but they both essentially are, I believe it's called passive devices. They're powered by the receiver. They don't have a battery in them.
So let's just run through just a list of all the things you can hack with that one little device.
I mean, I don't want to make it into an ad about Flipper because it's not Flipper itself. I'll tell you, but I'm just saying that Flipper itself, if you're going to go online and buy one of these and expect to be able to do everything that I'm talking about, you need to have custom firmware or software, whatever you want to call it, that allows you to do that, and you need to know how to modify it. So don't go out spending $180 on this device thinking you're going to hack somebody's car or steal their credit card, because that's not going to happen. But if you want to go down the list, I mean, there's a ton of things. There's all the radio things I just told you about, the RFID stuff, the NFC, which is the credit cards and more, infrared, which is TVs, projectors, and many other devices, GPIO, which is just anything that connects to the outside of this device, so I can make devices work and this be the controller for it. I button, which is a form of authentication that uses these things, these little metal prongs as a key. Bad USB, which emulates a keyboard, types like, a couple thousand words a second.
Wow.
Or I'm sorry, a minute. I'm sorry, a couple thousand words a minute. And then it also has some use cases that aren't hacking, like two-factor authentication. This is a offline device where you can generate your two-factor without needing a device that's connected to the internet. So it does that too. And then there's a ton of other sub-applications that are on here, like hundreds of them that do little things. So a lot. Just with this one device. This thing, it does just radio, but it does a lot more than this thing.
Really?
Yeah.
What does that one do?
This one you can hack airplanes with. That's an extreme, but that's something that you can actually accomplish with this using ADSB. You can choose to either receive or transmit. So you can choose to either receive or transmit ADSB with this device, and that's the frequency to tell a plane, its call sign, position, and more. And it's very illegal to do that, of course. But if I wanted to go outside right now, I could even demonstrate later for you. I pull this antenna out. This is just a small antenna. And we can receive airplanes, see where they're at. There's nothing illegal about receiving them. Transmitting is where it gets a little bit funky, But yeah, ADSB, this one does a lot. Like something like a joke, for example, touch tunes at a bar. They're little jukebox machines that you pay for.
Yeah.
This device brute forces them, meaning goes through 000 to 9999 looking for a PIN code. And once it gets it, I can fully control that jukebox like I'm the owner of it. So, just for fun. Or Subaru cars, some years of Subaru, I have this pre-programmed that can unlock and lock a Subaru, no problem. I could do that with this as well. But this thing, way stronger, bigger range, way more support, way more programs out there. This device is a lot more dangerous in my eyes than that device.
Really?
Yep.
Man, you are this is the fifth time I've said it, I think. You are a dangerous man. But
well, I'm safe, I'm ethical.
You could be if you wanted to be.
I'm trying to go into detail about these things just for the nerds out there like me that are listening. I'm not going into exhaustive detail about these devices because most people are not going to care. So I'm just giving the general overview.
Oh, I think they're going to care when they realize how vulnerable they are.
No, I don't mean they don't care about what they can do, but like care about the technical specifics.
Yeah. We get a lot of pretty much everything that we have is from China.
Okay.
All of our electronics, everything, it all, what do you say, 90% of it probably comes from China. Do you think we need to worry about what they're putting in our electronics?
Yeah. I'll give you one example. I bought this awesome vacuum and mop that's in one. It's an all-in-one vacuum mop called Tinico. And it completely connects to a Chinese server to transmit and receive information. Like I made a joke out of it. I actually have a video of it where you could turn the audio on for it. Like when you plug it in, it says charging started, charging stopped. Like when you put it on and off, I can control that with my computer through a Chinese cloud server. There's no reason that vacuum and mop should connect to a Chinese cloud infrastructure whatsoever, but it does. And at any point, they could change the way that functionality works and take over my home network with this vacuum mop. So,
are you serious with a vacuum mop?
Yep. Yeah.
How many devices do you think have these things in them?
Anything with a Wi-Fi connection, it's not everything's going to be China beaconing back and forth, but anything with a Wi-Fi, anything with Wi-Fi capability is going to open up, an attack vector.
Washing machines, refrigerators, just why does a vacuum mop
I don't know.
Wi-Fi capability?
I'd love to tell you, but it's I have the video I could show you. I could find it sometime, but it's I have that, and then I have the app I could show you. I can adjust the volume. I could check when the last time I used it. Does it need to be cleaned? Does it, it tells you all that stuff, but it's using a Chinese server that I can control from my computer now that I've captured the traffic between the MOP and the server.
How many devices do you think we have that are connected to a Chinese server? And what would they be getting out of it?
I mean, it's all about data nowadays. So, I mean, I think that data is the most important thing to them because it's worth money, and advertising dollars would be spent better for, with targeted demographics. So I think that they're using that information to target you on the stuff that you need. If you or someone that you love is looking up something, obviously Google's going to figure out how to target you on that thing and then sell that data to other people, and they call it retargeting. Whereas if they have access to your direct network and they can see, things that you didn't even fully search out, or you're typing on a different application, like a chat application where you're not even searching about it, you're just talking about it, that data is very valuable because they know about something before Google does or some other large data broker.
Interesting. What are 5 simple things that people can do to protect themselves from hackers?
Use a password manager, install an antivirus, or consult with an IT company that has cybersecurity expertise, or a cybersecurity company. One of those many options, but talk to somebody unless you're an expert yourself. Use an RFID blocking wallet, and potentially, if you want to be extra safe, use a key fob that has an RFID shield on it. That way your key fob doesn't work outside of that shield, can't be cloned. Some cars require, tap to start. So, use something like that. Be careful with the websites that you're visiting. If the browser's telling you the site looks unsafe, then it's probably unsafe. And if if you're told otherwise, make sure who's telling you otherwise is legitimate. And, just be careful. I mean, just use your common sense. If something looks too good to be true, it probably is.
Okay, what about we live in a day and age where you're getting spam calls every 5 minutes, you're getting spam texts every 5 minutes, and a new marketing email's coming in every 2 minutes. It's ridiculous. Mm-hmm. Do we need to worry about that stuff? If I open a text, could I be hacked just from opening the text?
Technically, yes. I mean, like I said earlier, the zero-click attacks that they're willing to pay a ton of money for, there's government agencies that already have them, There was one going around for quite a long time. Called Pegasus. And then there was another one called Pegasus 2.0. And it didn't require any user interaction from anyone. You would just send to a phone number. They'd have full remote access to your phone.
Even without opening the text?
Without opening anything.
Holy shit. How do you defend against something like that? Yeah.
You can't. There's no way to defend yourself. That's why they're so valuable, because there's nothing you can do.
How do most hackers get in? Do you have to click a link?
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it's a link, sometimes it's a file, sometimes it's a photo, sometimes it's a chain of exploits of multiple things that turn into it. It could be a Word document. It could be anything. When it comes to 0 days and 0-click exploits, it doesn't require any user interaction, and you will not know that your phone's infected.
Damn.
Yeah, so I can't even give you a good answer for it.
This is scary stuff, man.
I might as well have it on my phone right now. I have no clue. I mean, I'd likely see the traffic going in and out of it, but there is still the chance that it could have it.
All right. Let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll get into what you're doing now. The U.S. dollar. How many of you out there still have any confidence whatsoever in the U.S. dollar? Probably not very many. I don't either. You see, there's a growing concern on the devaluation of the U.S. dollar right now, and rightly so. Here's why. Inflation. We are at an all-time high right now on inflation. It will now cost you $12 to buy 1 carton of eggs. That is absolutely absurd. Let's talk about interest rates. Interest rates through the roof. If you're in the market to buy a house right now, you're going to get roughly 50% less house because they've raised the interest rates so high. Let's talk about the stock market. Way down, especially the tech stocks. Crypto, way down. Congress spending more money than you or I or anyone else we know can even fathom counting. And the feds, what are they doing? They're just printing money like it's nobody's business, devaluing our dollar. Meanwhile, China is running around the globe right now, striking deals. Latest one, Saudi Arabia and Iran. New oil deals, trying to turn the yen into the new reserve currency, which in turn will devalue our dollar. It might be time to start looking at where to protect your money, and you might want to look at precious metals. I believe gold and silver is one of the safest assets to protect your savings and your retirement against inflation and recession. If you're interested in investing in gold, I suggest you call my friends at Lear Capital. A lot of folks these days are extremely concerned about the 401ks. Ladies and gents, if you're looking for a solid investment, talk to Lear. They can roll precious metals investment right into your 401k. Call them today at 1-800-741-0551 or go to learshawn.com. I started investing in gold back in 2020. When I saw what was going on back then, I knew we were in for a financial crisis, and I started investing in precious metals immediately. Once again, call Lear at 800-741-0551 or go to learshawn.com and get your free gold and silver investor guides and receive up to $15,000 in free bonus metals with a qualified purchase. Information contained within Lear Capital's website is for general educational purposes and is not investment, tax, or legal advice. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision. You've probably heard me talk about my psychedelic journey last year and all the benefits that came from doing it. One being that I haven't drank in almost a year. I have not had any caffeine in almost a year. My anxiety is gone. My anger is gone. A whole list of benefits came from that, and it led me down this journey of researching benefits of mushrooms and fungi in general. In my research, I found this company called Mudwater. Mudwater is a coffee alternative with 4 adaptogenic mushrooms and herbs with a fraction of the caffeine as a cup of coffee. I have energy without anxiety, jitters, or the crash of coffee. What I really like about Mudwater is that they took the time to find the perfect ingredients to make a product to help you feel better every day. I genuinely believe that Mudwater is a good product. It's Whole30 approved, 100% USD organic, non-GMO, gluten-free, vegan, and kosher certified. Mudwater also donates monthly to the Berkeley Center for Science of Psychedelics, as Mudwater believes the country's in a mental health epidemic, and so do I. Go to mudwater.com/Shawn to support the show and use the code ShawnMud for 15% off. That's mudwater.com/Shawn. Use the code ShawnMud for 15% off. All right, Ryan, we're back from the break. We just got a whole class on hacking and all the stuff that you're capable of and all the things we need to be worried about. But let's talk about why you came here, and that's what you're doing now. You're basically hunting down these people that are exploiting children sexually on the internet and in person.
Yeah.
I know you have a couple of horrific stories. One guy that was, I think it was his daughter in the bathtub.
Yeah. So I'll start, kind of where that all came from. I was at a friend's house, and I got a text message from my friend's wife, and it was multiple photos of screenshots of this website that was. It was clear from the screenshots that the website was on the regular internet; anyone could access it. And should I name the website?
Yeah.
It was. It's no longer up, but it was .co. So .co. Then that website went down, and it ended up being .to, like T as in Thomas, O as in Oscar. So I see this website, and I see the content in these screenshots that my friend's wife sent me. She doesn't know anything about computers, but she has kids herself, and she was like, "Can you do something about this?" And I read this content, and one of them was talking about a mother that wanted to have kids, and then have the kids be so that when the kids grew up, that they could, have and go even further. I mean, I'll pull up the screenshots because I'd like to explain like where my head was at that time. But as soon as I read these messages, I guess a switch flipped in my brain, and I left my friend's house immediately as I got the text, and I went home. I didn't know for sure that I was going to be able to get into this website. I just knew I wanted to do something about it. And I found a vulnerability in their platform. I got in, and from that point on, I started to exfiltrate the data every single day, all of the users. I noticed that that a lot of people were soliciting on the site, so I didn't want to download those messages in case of the fact that I pull in some images that I'm not allowed to have, and nor do I want. So I made sure to only download the publicly facing stuff, which didn't include. It had some very graphic text, but it didn't include anything illegal, which I think it should be illegal to talk that way. But it was horrible stuff.
What were some of the? So you started this basically from a text conversation with a concerned mom. That's what got you into it.
Yeah.
What's some of the text that you saw on rapey.com?
I'd like to read them to you if you want. I still have them.
Read them.
So this is before I ever caught a single predator in my life. This was the beginning and what set my brain off to want to help. But this is before I even heard of this website, before I heard of anything to do with it. Okay, here they are. So the title, should I read these? Like, they're graphic.
Yeah, read them.
So the title of this post is, "Who wants to bang these little?" And then somebody replied underneath, "I've got first dibs on the." Joseph Fritzl, Maximilian, there's two different users there. Pick for yourselves. And this was the photo that they used.
Oh my God.
That's just one of three. 3 text
These
messages.
girls look like they're 6.
Very young, yeah. And then there was that one story where I told you about I can't see it, but the story I told you about the bathtub situation where there was a father who posted their child in the bathtub, and it said underneath of it, they have no idea what's going to happen to them tonight. And then underneath of that, there were people that were part of this website who were saying what they were going to do to this child. And this wasn't just some fantasy that this guy was talking about. This was a guy posting his child in the bathtub, like for real. Like it really was his child. I assume he was a man, but it was a parent. So that really got to me. And then I got another part of this text message. I'll just read one more of the 3. And this one says that they are a 16-year-old. A lot of these people were role-playing to be children. And in our investigations, we found out there was a lot of actual kids on this website, real kids, that were under 18 at the time of this when I hacked the site.
What are they doing on there?
They're selling their bodies for money to these
kids?
To these people, yeah.
It's kids prostituting themselves.
Yes. Yeah. So one of them, I don't know if this is a real 16-year-old or not, but what was said was pretty disturbing regardless. It said, "God, I really want to be a mom. I need someone who wants to 16-year-old. When I have our daughter, I'd let you do whatever you wanted from whatever age. Make me watch as you teaching her how to lovingly. Don't worry if it's a boy. You can watch teaching him how to properly woman. Teaching him how to slap and hurt me to. He'd be so cute trying to so little."
Oh my God.
So when I got these text messages and reading them even current day right now, it makes me sick to my stomach to even think about. And I know they're gone. So, I mean, not all these people are still out there, but the website's down.
How many people are on this website?
At first, I thought it was a couple thousand. When I cleaned up the database and figured it out, there's about 7,000 people in just this one website, and we have a total of 5.
You have 7,000 people on one website.
And you couldn't become a member of this website unless you answered an application where you had to answer a question that was something like, "Are you okay with doing something horrible with a 3-year-old and in all of their holes?" You had to answer that question in detail. I forget the exact verbiage of the question. It's posted somewhere in regards to this interview or Project Veritas, one or the other. But you had to fill that out to become a member of the website you just saw, and which would tell me that either you're an undercover cop or you're an actual predator on the site. I mean, who would answer a question like that, even if they were just curious?
Is there multiple? So it's a whole questionnaire you have to do to get into the site.
There was a few questions, I think 2 or 3, that were really horrible, but you had to answer them, or they would not approve you to join the site.
Is there any other prerequisites to get on sites like these?
Yes. So what I learned in this process, doing the investigation and exporting, everything that I could legally export, I found that they used a chat app called Telegram, and they were going back and forth talking about and they would call it cheese pizza and use all kinds of different phrases for it. And I realized there was these moderators in the chat rooms outside of the website, where if you would send them, they would let you into another group which was full of. But of course I couldn't do that, so I never got to see past that part. But I do have evidence of that being a thing because I exported all the chat logs, so I can. It shows that if I were to send something horrible to one of those moderators, I would have seen something even worse, which is hard to imagine, than we are already seeing here.
What did you do with that information? Actually, let me backtrack. I'm sorry. How long did it take you to crack into that website and get this information?
I wasn't sure, like I said, when I got the text messages, and I wanted to try to my goal was to just take the site down, and I knew I could make that happen because it was on the clear net, regular internet for anyone to visit. I knew I could do that, but I didn't know if I could actually get access to their server. Once I found the vulnerability, maybe an hour, 2 hours at the most, if I could remember correctly. It wasn't long. And they never found out they were hacked. So to this day, they never found out. They will never find out. I mean, unless somebody in that database is watching this, now you know. I have your data, and we will find you. So I actually recommend you come forward so we don't have to make the story up for you.
What did you do with this information?
So as soon as I got the information, I thought it was a slam dunk. I thought, like, these people were going to jail. I thought that maybe I solved something that the FBI or somebody was, working on for a long time. And I instantly went to the exploited children tip line, and I submitted, saying who the owner of the website was, that I had access to all the data, and that they were welcome to have it, basically. Then I reached out to a bunch of news stations, and talked to a ton of reporters, and all of them were super excited to talk to me.
What news stations?
Sun Sentinel, Daily Mail, Business Insider, Fox, some influencers, Ronan Farrow, Candace Owens, they both didn't read my messages. But as for the news stations, I had full conversations with the reporters. They knew what they were getting themselves into. They were very excited about reporting on it. And once it got back from legal, they weren't allowed to report on it. And I said, well, okay, if you're not allowed to report on the illegally obtained material that I have, just let parents know that this website exists and whatever you want, but just keep whatever illegal out of it. I just want parents to know that this website exists. You don't need to put my name. You don't need to put the material I obtained. Nothing. Every single one of them completely disregarded me. I sent a lot of those notes over to Project Veritas with some evidence of that, but not a single person until now has done anything about this.
Not any conservative media, not any liberal media, because unfortunately that's the day and age we live in now, right? None of them would touch this.
No.
None of them want to be involved in saving kids.
When I say I tried so hard, and nobody wanted to do anything.
So what wound up happening with the information?
So
law enforcement didn't want to get involved either.
No, so I called my attorney locally, and then I called an attorney in Virginia because the owner of the website happened to be a Democratic politician and ran for Congress 2 times. His name is Nathan Larson, and I'll explain more about him in a second. But I talked to a lawyer in Virginia because I knew that's where he lived, and I wanted to see what I could do from there. So the lawyer in Virginia basically told me she didn't know what to say. She never heard of anything like this. The lawyer in Florida reached out to the local task force, let them know that I had access to the information, and then as well as doing that tip line. So from that point on, all of these news stations and all the law enforcement connections, whatever you want to call them, they all were fully aware that Nathan Larson was running this website, that he was, he ran for Congress twice, that he was an extremist, he did crazy things, but he did run for Congress 2 different times in Virginia. So I thought that they would take that seriously. Well, completely ignored.
Completely ignored it. Project Veritas gave me access to some of the stuff you guys are working on together. Yeah. And in one of those videos, you're reading a quote from Nathan Larson. I'm going to read it right now. Mm-hmm. This is from Nathan Larson, Democratic politician that ran for VA Congress multiple times, ran a website for pedos to discuss their dark intentions and fantasies. Here's the quote. "It's not enough kids and take their innocence. You also need to reproduce the next generation with them. Let them see that you prefer to the offspring you have with them than to continue to have with a woman who is no longer jailbait." The quote continues, "But you can still sometimes. Just let her know, though, that what you love her for the most is producing with you a fresh, new, young girl, and that this is her main value and contribution hat. You think fondly of her." This is disgusting. I'm sorry. You think fondly of her because that beautiful daughter reminds you of her.
It's unimaginable. It's like, how do people think this way? But there's so many people that think this way that it's alarming. Is the word for it. I don't know how else to put it. It's way more people than you'd think, than you'd like to believe.
Code words: pizza and cooking, and cheese pizza stands for.
Yep.
This is disgusting.
Yeah, it gets only worse than that. It's really bad.
How much worse does it get?
Worse. I mean, people. This is a person talking about it, and it makes me uncomfortable just as much as it makes you uncomfortable. But these people, what they're talking about, they're doing. This guy isn't some guy with a bunch of fantasies. This guy got arrested 6 months after. Nobody did anything about it. And, like I said, I try my best. He gets arrested 6 months later with a 12-year-old at a layover at an airport after he kidnapped her. So not only did he talk about it, he did it. and he got caught. As for some other people, I don't know how much more I can go into it, but one guy we're investigating, as of 2020, which is after I submitted the data, he got in trouble for doing something horrible to a child as well, became a fugitive, and I think they eventually got him. But, we're not even close to through the list yet, and, we got a lot more people to expose, and they're not just talking about it, they're doing it.
Let's backtrack real quick because you kind of breezed over what happened. So the guy with the daughter in the bathtub.
Yeah.
What happened?
That guy with the daughter in the bathtub, I don't know where he went. He's part of the database.
I'm talking about the guy that got arrested in Denver.
Oh, that's Nathan Larson.
Okay.
So Nathan Larson, he got arrested 6 months after the fact. After I hacked his site, after I submitted it to the authorities, to all the news stations, he gets arrested with a 12-year-old girl and gets arrested for kidnapping. And I don't think he got charged with rape, but he got the kidnapping charge. Nathan Larson then went to federal prison for that. And, the website went down. And, he sat in prison for, I forget what the sentence was, but it was quite a long time. And to my knowledge, when you're a person like him, you are going to be you're going to be separated in a federal prison from the regular inmates. And, spoiler alert, but Nathan Larson's dead. And the reason why he's dead is due to starvation. The news says that it's suicide. If I had to guess, the inmates that were, responsible for feeding him just let him, starve to death. And I believe he deserved every second of that pain.
You and me both. So there's been five other sites that you've cracked into.
So when I hacked Rapey, Nathan left backups of his previous websites on the same server. So it really only took one site to get all 5.
How many names altogether?
I can't give you an exact number. I'm not sure. I bet it's tens of thousands.
Tens of thousands of people. Are these people all in? Where do you know where they're all at? Are they from all over the country?
All over the country.
world?
Some are international, but most of them, are in the country.
So when did 561 PC start?
So 561 PC is an organization that I created with a friend, Scrappy. He's an MMA fighter. It started because of the frustration that nothing happened from this original, this whole ordeal. We're talking 2.5 years after the fact. I've been, looking into information on predators for organizations on YouTube anonymously with my name not attached whatsoever. Just finding information and sending it over to the organizations, and then they would go and confront them themselves. And I did that for many organizations, like I said, completely anonymously. I wasn't looking for recognition or my name to be attached to anything. I meet Scrappy, Dustin Lampros, whatever you want to call him. He's a really good dude. And
Hold on, Scrappy's a professional MMA fighter in the UFC, correct?
He didn't get his call for the UFC yet, but he's 8-0 undefeated, 7 knockouts. He's likely going to get the call.
He's on the way.
Yeah, and even Dana White knows who he is, I believe. He's a good dude outside of fighting. He's a very nice guy, gentle heart, religious guy, great person in my eyes. So he was a good partner to pick for this upcoming project. And I was like, hey man, do you know how bad it is on the internet? Like I told him the story that I just told you. He was blown away by the fact that nothing happened. And I told him, I said, like, let me show you how bad it is, not just tell you. So I was like, Google search teen chat room Florida, or it was something similar to that. So he Googled it. I told him, click any chat room. I don't care which one it is. He clicks the chat room. He clicked guest. He clicked guest. He didn't have to make an account. Made his name Ashley, 13, female, Florida, something like that, and just said hi in the chat room. And within 5 minutes, he must have got 40, 50, 60 messages from grown men, some naked, some trying to video chat, some saying that, they want to meet up, and very horrible things, like grown men hanging out in these teen chat rooms. From that point on, he realized how serious this actually was. And I was like, hey, well, you know that it's not just these chat rooms. It's most of the time it's social media apps like Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Tinder, all of them. It's anywhere a kid has access to. Roblox, Minecraft, their Xbox when they're talking to their friends. These predators are on everything. So I said to him, hey, if we get some decoys in there and they grown women or grown men, they pretend to be children, we can go and try to catch these people and expose them in real life. Just the same way I've been helping organizations for 2.5 years do it, except instead of me sending it to them, we'll do it ourselves. We'll clean up at least try our best to clean up our town in South Florida. And he was like, yeah, man, I'm definitely down to do it. And of course, at first you think when somebody says they're down to do something like that, it's a hit or miss. But he was on point, ready to go. And, we've caught 14 people now in a couple months of doing it. And, local law enforcement, Delray Beach Police, have been incredible. And we're just going to continue to grow. If anybody's interested in checking that out, it's at 561PC, like 561 Predator Catchers on Instagram, same as for YouTube. And, you'll find me there, and you'll also find Scrappy there.
Let's rewind. What was your first operation like?
My first what?
Your first operation. What's the first guy you guys caught together as a team? How did that go down?
So the first guy we caught as a team was just a complete test. Scrappy and I used an app called Grindr, which is a gay dating app for the most part. Not only gay, but mostly gay. And we both used a filter to make ourselves look younger. And we just started talking to any guy that messaged us. We didn't message anybody first. We waited for people to message us. And one guy eventually, within an hour, decided to talk to us. And we went out, met him, called the cops. And the guy ran to the bathroom. We couldn't film in the bathroom.
Where'd you meet him?
Right on Atlantic Ave in Delray, in front of 1 million people. And I embarrassed. I screamed at the top of my lungs at what he was there to do. And I don't do that anymore because you can get a disorderly conduct for that. I didn't know that at the time. But that was my first encounter. Guy just ran to the bathroom, though, and hid until the cops got there. And at that time, the cops had no clue what was going on, so they just let him go.
Have you gotten anybody arrested?
Yeah, multiple people.
How many?
3 so far.
Let's go over the first one that you got arrested. What did that operation look like?
That one is actually... I think. Do you mind if I go over the guy that I know the full story of right now? Because some of them are active. So, one guy, we have a YouTube video, and we made him, do pull-up. We made him do push-ups and sit-ups, to distract them while the cops were on their way, and he said that that the girl had bleeding hips, and I believe he said something about wanting to take a shower with her or something like that. And how Florida works is they have the police station and then they have the state attorney. Some states have district attorneys, some states have state attorneys. I think they're the same thing, but they're just named differently. But the state attorney is the one that ultimately makes a decision on if the person is going to be convicted or charged with these charges. But the cops make the decision on what they're being charged with. So we meet the guy. He admits to everything, that he said in the chat logs. He admits to maybe even a little bit more. Then he admits it again to the police officers. He goes in the interrogation room. I send the chat logs and the video to them while they're interrogating. He admits everything to them because it's not evidence until the predator says it. Like, our evidence isn't valuable because we're vigilantes. So, it's not technically evidence unless the police obtain it. So all of that went well. The cops Delray Police spent a ton of time building the report out for this guy. State attorney, was kind of iffy about it, it seemed. And the entirety of the case was thrown out because there was no shower inside of Walmart. So there's no way he could have showered.
You've got to be shitting me.
Yeah. So it's a little bit rough. We had a meeting.
Do you know who's responsible for that case getting dropped?
I don't. I know it's the state attorney for Palm Beach County, but Yeah, I don't know the exact name.
Is that an elected slot?
I believe so.
We should look that name up and post it right here.
It's wild to me, but the one thing that I can say is that one of the sergeants who used to be a detective did have a meeting with us right after that and told us what the state attorney would be looking for to secure a conviction. So we are trying to fall within those guidelines now. Like, we call the cops regardless every time, but we're not sure if we're going to get an arrest or not unless it falls within the guidelines that we're told.
Ryan, do you think you could demonstrate right here, right now, how fast these sexual predators will show up in a chat room?
Yeah.
Fire your computer up. Let's do it.
All right. I'm recording, so now I'm just going to say, hi, who wants to chat? And I named myself Ashley Female New Jersey, 13 Female New Jersey. Let's see how many private messages come in. 2 already. 3.
It's been like 10 seconds.
Yep. Hey, want to fool around? Hey, how old are you? Let me just copy that and send that to everybody because we got other messages coming in.
What chat room are you in?
Just a teen chat. Hey, you want to cuddle a bit? I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt right now that they didn't read the. Oh, he's 47.
47 years
okay
old
with
in a
my
teen
age?
chat room. You got him in what? 5 seconds? He's
Yeah.
already messaging in?
Oh yeah, there's a ton. I can't even keep up with them here because every time I click one, there's more on the list. He says he's okay. I said, "Are you okay with my age?" He says, "Yes, age 13, like my profile says." I got 2 more messages, so now we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm 19. Let's ignore the 19-year-old, even though it's disgusting.
It hasn't even been 60 seconds yet.
Okay, there's another guy. Here's the other guy. This guy's 15. Ignore him. That is a real teenager in a teen chat. The 47-year-old says, he said age. I said 13 like my profile says. He said name, Ashley. And then another guy just messaged. How old are you? Okay, this person's a child too. So out of all of these, there's one guy here who is 47 years old, less than a minute, who wants to talk to a child in a teen chat. And I only said hi in the chat room, nothing else.
Holy shit, dude. You jumped in a chat room. You called yourself Ashley 13, New Jersey. Literally less than 10 seconds. We have a 47-year-old wanting to have sex with a 13-year-old girl.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how quick it is. Like I Googled teen chat. I'm in a different state, so I get different results here for, the local teen chats. There's no way for me to set it up. All I did was say hi in the chat room and press enter. And a bunch of messages came in. Some were from actual teenagers, as it should be in a teen chat. And one of the guys, which, who knows if they really are teenagers, that's another thing. But one guy was open about that he was 47 years old, and he was completely fine with the age.
Where all is this happening? Is this happening? Just list off where this is happening that everyday people use all the time.
Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, Kik, WhatsApp, Roblox, Minecraft, Xbox, PlayStation.
Xbox and PlayStation?
Yeah, because you can chat with random people in games. They could represent themselves as whoever they want. Yeah, I mean, it's just, the list goes on. Anywhere where a human can communicate with another human, the child is not safe. So parents need to be watching that. And not just assuming if your kid says, "Hey, I'm on the phone with my friend," which friend is it? Is it one that I know? You can't be scared of being a helicopter parent, because if your kid's aggravated at you for a couple of minutes for being overprotective in these scenarios, I think it's not your fault regardless of what happens, but to save them from a life of trauma, I think it might be worth the extra couple minutes or aggravating your kid to see who they're actually talking to, see who their friends really are, and just spend that extra time, because it could save a lifelong battle with trauma.
This happened to somebody I know in Parkland. I remember I used to live in Boca, so I got a lot of friends down there. Happened in Parkland. He's got a couple daughters, and she was blackmailed by somebody and had taken pictures, and it's everywhere, just as you just demonstrated it. I mean, 10 seconds, less than 10 seconds, and he's on there.
Yeah.
Is this the case every single time?
Yeah. Some of the guys want to chat for longer before they meet up in person, but yeah, it's that easy. It's not good that it's easy, but it is that easy to find them. They're out there, and they're being predatory, like the name states.
How? I don't know what to call it. I don't want to call it a success rate, but what is the percentage of people that you're talking to on here that will come and meet?
Depends on how long you talk to them, and if you can convince them that you're not a police officer.
Would you say the majority of them?
Way more than the majority, yeah.
90%?
Yeah.
Over 90%?
It depends if they ask to meet or not yet, because sometimes it takes a while for them to chat. So I would say, yeah, like if they ask to meet, 95% plus if they ask to meet up.
95%, you think?
Yeah.
Damn. How did Project Veritas get involved with you?
They saw a viral podcast of me talking about the website, and they were interested, and they said, well, I want to help you bring justice to this, to what the other stations failed to bring justice to, and the FBI even failed to, or everybody failed me. I felt like they failed me. And Project Veritas said, hey, well, we will do something about this. We'll put our whole team on it. We're gonna bring light to this. We're gonna bring these people out of the dark corners of the earth, and it made me feel like, okay, I have a team here. I have people that are willing to, fly across the country and meet me in a 24-hour notice, which they did, to have a conversation. They flew me out to New York to do an interview. Just off my word. I could have been lying. I could have been a member. Who knows what they didn't know who I was. So they just took my word for it, and they gave me the most compassion and love more compassion and love than I would have ever expected, and still are to this day.
What does this collaboration between you and them look like? How are they? You're obviously feeding them all the information that you've uncovered so far. Are you still getting more information?
So right now we're going off the data that I already have, which is so much, especially with Nathan Larson's websites. The one we're focusing on at the moment is rapey.co and .to. So anyone that was on that list is going to be investigated. We have all of their information, or ways to find it. So we're just going to go down that list, keep exposing them in person, and we've found quite a few already. So it's only going to get more extreme, especially as the team gets bigger. And hopefully we do some justice, put some more in prison, uncover some secrets.
How are you guys? So they sent me. So this interview is timed perfectly. When Project Veritas starts to release this information, we're right behind them. We've talked to them. We're collaborating with them. Mm-hmm. We want to just dump gas and amplify what you guys are doing to get this word out. So what does this collaboration look like between you and them? You're feeding them the information, and then how are they reaching out to these guys, and how are they getting them to come in and confess to this stuff?
They have their own ways of dealing with undercover operations and like filming undercover. But when we find the information on the people, we're going off the database, we're taking the information per user, we're tying that to what we have some archived images of when the website did exist. So we could say this user said this at this time or replied to this at that time, figure out who that user is, and then organize a team to go out there and meet them. But the process of finding out who they are is called OSINT, or Open Source Intelligence. And Project Veritas has been doing that already for years, as well as me. I specialize in OSINT, and obviously being a hacker, it just comes with the territory. So working together as a team, finding these people has been, no different than what I would do on a daily basis, except it's just making a bigger impact.
How many guys have you guys put in prison so far?
I don't think I can talk about that part yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll wait. Let's talk about the John Lewis confrontation.
Yep.
He was on rapey.to website with his email link to it. He says he found the website through a Telegram group.
Yeah.
First, he admits to having a fetish to young children, went to therapy for help with that addiction, has been going for many years and has made a little progress with his addiction.
Addiction to porn, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about that interview at all? Have you seen that?
Yeah, I watched the interview, and the guy is in a facility for his addiction to porn, but was completely cognizant and coherent. There, he wasn't like a mental health case to like where he didn't know right from wrong. He definitely was fully aware of what he was doing. Like I said, he's one of 7,000 on that list, but he did admit on an undercover camera that he was to child, he was soliciting, and that he was a member of not only but those Telegram groups I mentioned earlier that were trading and soliciting child. He admitted all of that clear as day on camera. So that will be forwarded along to the police, and we'll see what happens from there. But that was very recent, his confrontation.
The application question to join the group. We've already gone over this. If a man wants to his 3-year-old daughter in every while she is, do you have a problem with that? Please elaborate on your thought process so we can better judge your suitability for this site. John Lewis's response: I do have a problem with that. That's disgusting. Then they expose the conversation, make a video in the school basement. Denied it. It was a lie. Denied receipt. Passed. He only admits to having seen but did not distribute it. And then confessed to have looked or seen images, never physically acting on those urges. And then later confessed.
Right. And says that he never did any of that. And if what he says that he did on the forum, he legitimately says that he kid in the basement across from the school, and just by chance, that's where he lives, across from a school where his parents live. So, he could say he didn't or he did, but the fact that he admitted to, like, I've been in some very, very tough spots in my life, but I've never thought about a child ever.
Either.
I doubt you have either. If I don't trust anything you say.
Yeah.
So if you tell me on a forum that kid in the basement, you probably in the basement. That's what I'm gonna safely assume.
Do you know what happened to this guy?
That's like I said, that one's so new that I'm not sure what's going to happen to him, but hopefully
He's still out there right now, though.
Yeah.
How do we solve this shit, man?
There's no way to solve it for sure. Like, it's never going to go away. And unfortunately, we have some states that are trying to normalize it. We have states that are trying to make it a sexual orientation. And then we have other states
What
like
states?
California being the main one that I know of.
What are they doing?
They're trying to make it a sexual orientation. I think they're calling it something attracted minors or something.
They're making this a thing. They're making it okay. We need to accept. So now we need to accept people who are little kids.
Yes. That's what they're trying to do.
Accept that now.
Yeah, California is one state that they're trying to make it part of a sexuality to be attracted to children.
It's a sexuality to be attracted to children. Do you know any of the other states that are doing this?
I could Google it, but California is the main one that I know of.
Not surprising.
Yeah, not surprising.
Not surprising at all.
Yeah, so that blows my mind that's even a thought. And then there's people that defend these guys as it's a mental illness, it's a sickness, it's this, it's that. I don't care what it is because it affects somebody else. You know, it's going to ruin somebody's life forever.
Why do you think these states are pushing this shit?
I don't know. But Florida, I'll give you a good example. I mean, DeSantis is trying to pass a bill to issue the death penalty for sex crimes against children.
From what I understand, that's in place. Is that in place now?
Is it locked in? It must have been recent if so, but...
I don't want to misspeak, but the way I understood it is that it is in there now, and that if you're doing this shit and you get caught, they're going to fucking kill you.
I love that.
Why is it...
That should be the case everywhere, in my opinion.
Why are all the Democrat states trying to legalize this shit and make this normal? I don't fucking understand that.
I don't know.
I don't know how you can vote for that shit. I don't know how you can affiliate with that shit. I don't know how you can think it's okay. It's fucking disgusting.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. It's like, but
they're
how do we stop
normalizing
that?
kids.
Yeah. And they're creating people
and
to
people
defend
are
them.
voting this shit in.
Yeah.
Fucking Gavin Newsom got recalled and they voted him in again. And look at this shit. Now he's making this shit normal? I mean, I hate to get fucking political, but what the fuck is wrong with these people?
I agree with you. It's I can't explain. I wish I could. I wish I could explain why we just got a message in 10 seconds in a random chat room from a 47-year-old man wanting to. But I can't. I have no explanation. And all I know is that we need to find a way for parents to be educated and for kids, when they get old enough, to be educated, so that this doesn't happen to them. That's all I know that I could do. And the only other thing I know I could do outside of educating parents, schools, children, is help some organizations out that human trafficking and victims of any type of sexual assault, whether they're children or adults. Like I have the resources and the team and the skill set to be able to help people. I just need those people to be put in place, as well as, let's say, parents monitoring their child on an app. I have some ideas in my head for apps, but I don't want to plug a specific app if I don't know if it's great or if I can trust them. So,
even if you don't plug, even if you don't plug an app, Ryan, what do these apps do? Like, so if I put this app on my son's phone, what do I get?
So you're going to know where he's at all times. You're going to be able to read his text messages. You'll be able to check his app usage. You'll be able to, lock down certain parts of the phone that you don't want him to be on. And just basically as if you have access to the phone, but you have more access than him. It's really more, I think it's more important to do that and have your kid aggravated at you than, like I said, the latter.
Yeah, I mean, I would 100% agree with you.
I mean,
So basically,
the
these
statistics
apps
with the 1 in 10 people before the age of 18 are sexually assaulted, and 40% are 12 years old or under.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean that's
40%.
40% are under 12. So it's important to do this stuff,
So with these apps, so the way I'm understanding what you're saying is, if I put one of these apps on anybody's phone, I basically get control, just like you were talking about earlier, of people's computer. I can control everything they're doing, what they're looking at.
It's like a commercial remote access Trojan.
How easy is it to manipulate the app? I mean, because here's my concern. I'm getting old, and my son's going to be a lot more tech savvy than I am.
Right.
So he's going to learn how to defeat that.
Yeah, for sure. So I don't think that it's going to be easy. As of right now, I know it's not easy. I know of one that my uncle is using, and it hasn't been beaten by his daughter. So I don't think it'll be that easy. Nothing's impossible, but they could always get on a computer, which there's other ways to protect the computer. If it was me as a kid, maybe I'd get a little more crafty because that's what I like to do. I like to hack computers. But I don't know. It would stop me and make me second guess what I was doing if I knew my parents or parent was watching everything that I was doing online. I would second guess my conversations and who I talked to.
Damn, man. This shit is...
Because I'll give you one example. A guy was talking to our decoy. This is like the second or third person that we caught. Talking to our decoy in a normal chat room, not like that, like regular social media site, and was using a photo of some guy that was in a band as his profile photo, using a fake phone number, fake age, and a fake name. And we were like, we can't find information on him. Like, we can meet up with him, but we're not going to know anything about the guy. So we eventually got the decoy to get the guy to send pictures of his face. And he sent some real pictures of his face. I was able to find him on the internet, found his real name, found that he was not the age that he said, not the name that he said, that he wasn't even using his real photos. He booked a hotel room. He ordered. He even actually ordered pizza to the hotel room, thinking that he was meeting with an 11-year-old at that time. And it's you got to remember that the 11-year-old he thought he was talking to was under the assumption they were meeting some guy from a band that was younger, that got a hotel for the night, that just ordered pizza, when in reality it's some guy in his mid-40s them. It's unbelievably messed up.
Let's take a break. I need a break. Hey guys, let me tell you about this subscription service that I've been working real hard on called Vigilance Elite Patreon. Basically on Patreon, we have it broken up into 3 different tiers. We got tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. Let's dive in. Our tier 1 patrons get all the behind the scenes footage of the Shawn Ryan Show. That could include behind the scenes photos, that could be side conversations that we have in between breaks, that could be specific questions that our patrons give us for the guest on the Shawn Ryan Show, and a ton of bonus content that doesn't really fit into any specific category. For our tier 2 patrons, they get access to our tactical training library, which consists of well over 100 videos. We've broken those videos up into separate categories, and those categories are rifle fundamentals, pistol fundamentals, drills, tactics, driving, gear and weapon setups, and everybody's favorite, mindset. Also on tier 2, you will get a live update from me on the 1st and the 15th of every month, where we talk about the upcoming guests on the Shawn Ryan Show, plus all the benefits of tier 1. Our top tier, which is tier 3, gets full access to all the other tiers, plus they get full access to me, where we do video teleconferencing, VTC, once a month. We discuss anything from tactics to current events to who's coming on the show. I take suggestions, and it's very interactive. No matter what tier you choose, the support is greatly appreciated, and it is the only thing that makes this show drive on. So thank you for all the support. See you on Patreon. All right, Ryan, we're back from the break. Sorry, man, I was getting a little too angry before the break, so I
understand.
Wanted to cool off for a minute. But while we were on the break, I want to clear a couple things up. We were talking about the California law and the Florida law. So we printed some stuff up. This is from the Liberty Champion. I didn't realize this stuff in California got signed into law in 2020.
Right. Yeah, and I don't know. God knows what more they've done since then.
Yeah, who knows?
I know the LGBTQ plus community, from what it says in one of those articles, they were not happy at all about this decision. So it seems they're not in support of, or at least the LGBTQ movement is not in support of the sexually attracted to minors or men I can't remember
Yeah,
the
so
acronym.
the plus, is that what this is?
I believe so, but I don't want to be wrong.
Yeah,
so
let's just stick to what we know. So I'm just going to read this. This is a report from the Liberty Champion. It is an opinion poll. I think this portion is factual. You can look it up. We're on a time crunch, so whatever, look it up. But according to this, a couple weeks ago, this is dated October 12th, 2020. A couple weeks ago, California Governor Gavin Newsom signed a law that would allow judges to decide whether or not to list someone as a sex offender for having or with a minor. According to the bill, it only applies to consensual sex, whether it be between a minor 14 years old or older. So as long as they're 14, you're good in California. Well, I guess you're not good.
Consensual.
It's up to the judge.
Yeah, it's up to the judge, and they believe that children can consent at that age. And then from what I know, just hearing things or reading things, that there is they want to make it a sexuality in certain states, one being California, that you're attracted to minors overall. And I don't believe kids can consent personally, not in the slightest.
This goes on to say, it looks like this is an opinion poll, so I don't want to get too far in the weeds, but it looks like they're adding it to the LGBTQ plus community. Minors deserve the right to consensual sex too.
That's ridiculous.
That's not from me. That's from this.
Right.
I totally disagree with this shit. Just
Agreed.
in case somebody tries to make a weird sound.
Yeah, I don't agree with it either.
But then we go, and then the Florida thing. This is April 20th, 2023. This is from ABC News. They're really upset about this, if you read the whole article. But Florida Governor Ron DeSantis on Thursday signed a bill that will allow juries to impose the death sentence even if all 12 jurors do not agree. He is also likely to approve a second bill passed by the lawmakers on next Tuesday, that would make sexual battery of a child under the age of 12 a death penalty offense. It's quite the difference between the two states there.
Agreed.
I know where I'd want to live.
I do live in Florida and totally agree with what he's trying to do.
I just can't believe people are into this shit. You know?
Yeah, I do it every day, and I still can't believe it.
But so we're going to kind of wrap things up here. There's a couple of things that we haven't talked about yet. I know you got a couple of facts, statistics that you want to rattle off. Before we get to that real quick, let's go over a couple of examples. On our break, you were talking about confronting a man in Delray Beach,
yes,
who then was later caught. And then we also talked about a letter that you got from I don't want to say a gentleman's attorney, a pedophile's attorney.
Right.
Basically standing up for him, trying to pay you. I'll leave it to you from here. Let's start with the teacher.
So I'll start with the guy. The video as of recording now isn't on our YouTube channel, but by the time this is released, people will be able to watch this man's video. He showed up after talking to our decoy and talking sexually. He was fully aware of the age, and I looked into the guy. The guy went to school to be a teacher. He has a bachelor's in teaching, teaching to some degree. I don't know what specific topic or if teaching is just a degree, but he is a teacher. He taught at 2 different schools.
What schools?
I have them on my computer. I don't have them off the top of my head.
Local Florida schools?
One is an online tutor school and another one's not. So, but he has two properties, one in Massachusetts and one in Florida. He showed up to meet. His name was Brent. And I walked up to him with the camera, Scrappy behind me, and we called his name. And the guy just starts walking away while he's on the phone with our decoy. And we're like, hey, we have all your information. We know where you live. We know you're like, instead of just saying we know where you live. We're giving him the address. We're telling him where, his name. We're telling him where he's worked. We're telling him age. Like, this guy knew that we knew who he was, and he kept walking and kept walking. Then he goes into a full sprint. He's full sprinting through the Walmart, and I'm not a big runner, so I just start chasing after him. I'm running as fast as I can to catch up with him. I got the camera in my hand, and I'm screaming at the guy, saying, like, what are you doing here? Like, what's going through your head? Guy gets in his car, he drives away. Didn't get a word out of the guy. So we thought, okay, let's just report it to the police. We'll put the video up. It'll just be a short video. We'll attach some of the chat logs so people see he was a teacher. And I thought that was the end of it. A couple days later, I get a text message from a friend that says, hey, didn't you just catch this guy? Her name's Courtney Elizabeth. She's a predator catcher. She texted me a screenshot from another predator catcher 1,200 miles away in Pennsylvania. So we're in Florida originally. This guy drove to Pennsylvania for whatever reason. I don't know why he was there, if he was on his way to Massachusetts. I don't know what he was doing there, but got caught again by another predator catching group. And I reached out to that predator catcher, Luzerne County predator catcher. He does his county and is known in that specific area. And he sent me all the chat logs. One of the chat logs said that he was chased out of Walmart by 2 police officers. And the guy has no idea who we were because we didn't get a chance to say, we didn't get a chance to even tell him what we were doing. So just, the point of the matter is he didn't get the point the first time. He likely ran from Florida because he thought he was being investigated or wanted by the police. And then you also have to think, if he got caught twice by 2 predator catchers, which is not the most common, profession or niche in the world, how many times this man has not been caught? So it's disgusting, that he's a teacher, and disgusting that he'd do it twice. But just think of the amount of times this man has probably not been caught. So that was one thing. And then we caught another guy that I wanted to reference. We caught another guy named Steven. We went to his job. We asked for him.
What was his job?
He's a manager at a seafood restaurant. And we showed up there. We sat at the table. He was supposed to meet with our decoy. At that point, it was 13 or 14 years old. My memory serves me correctly. And he bailed last second that day. A lot of times these guys will bail and then they'll come back, or they never really disappear because they can't control themselves. This guy was very sexual. He said that he wanted our decoy to sit on his face. He wanted her to come back to his house. Horrible things. So we were like, you know what? We're not going to let this guy just bail and disappear. We know where he works. We have his information. Let's just go there, order 2 glasses of water. We know he's the manager, so he'll come up after we request the manager, and we'll bring him outside and have a conversation. So we did that. He was fully aware that he was being recorded, and everything was very transparent what was going on. We asked questions. He told us the answers to them. He knew we weren't police. He knew he was free to go at any time, and he offered a ton of information. That was up to him. That gets over with. Police come. We give the police all the information that we have, and some time goes by, and I get an email, which the original email was, saying to take the video down off of the internet, and that went to Scrappy's cell phone, and he didn't see it at first, but then when he did, he sent it to me, and then I replied to it. But the first email was straight to the point, like, take this video down. It's in violation of this statute, of the privacy laws of Florida, and last time I checked, you can record in public. You have no expectation of privacy in a public place, audio or video. And so I wasn't too concerned about the threat from the law firm who's representing our predator. So I sent the reply back and I said, take a look at the person that you are representing. Here are the chat logs if you want to be clear, because I didn't release them with the video. So the attorney could read all of the horrible things that the guy not only admitted in the video, but that he said himself in the chats with pictures of his face. Then they reply a few days later, and I'll read you their reply. They said, thank you for your response. In accordance with Florida Statute 934.03, we are requesting that you remove the video, As stated in my previous email, this video is exposing Mr. Blank to an increased risk of physical harm. In the video, you have exposed his face and full name without his consent, which is a violation of privacy laws. See below. And then this is from the statute. In Florida, it's illegal to record an in-person or telephone conversation without the consent of all parties. Violating this law constitutes either a misdemeanor or third-degree felony, depending on the offender's intent and conviction history, can also subject the offender to civil damages. And then at the bottom, this is the kicker. We respect everything that you do and acknowledge your mission of doing what is right and protecting the public. In fact, we would like to offer you $1,000 to support your cause and for the administrative costs for the removal. I will also be at your service if you need our help in the future, if you face any legal issues with your channel. Again, we're not looking for a battle, we're looking for your help. Respectfully, Blank. So I will not release their firm's name. I don't respect the fact that they're representing a predator, but they haven't filed a lawsuit against me at this point. If they do, this email is in my possession. It was sent to me. I can release this email. It's not a threat by any means, but I will release it to let the public know that, somebody's representing a predator and trying to make my life and Scrappy's life more difficult, about exposing a local predator. And then number two, the fact that they said that they would want to represent us. Why would we ever want legal advice from somebody that would take most likely $500 from a predator to take down a video that is educating the people in the area who's dangerous? Why would we want to be represented by somebody that's okay with that?
Yeah.
So I just wanted to let you know that one. That blew my mind.
This stuff just goes on and on and on, and Ryan, I want to get you back here again to dive into this more, maybe in 6 months or so, because I know there's going to be a bunch of stuff that develops. But
yeah.
So I know you have a couple of statistics you want to rattle off.
Sure.
And let's rattle those off, and then let's try to end this with something positive.
Okay. Yeah, agreed. So these are just just some statistics about human trafficking, which it coincides with exactly what we're doing, catching predators and these pedophile ring websites. 1 in 5 U.S. teenagers who have received an unwanted sexual solicitation online. That's Crimes Against Children Research Center. 13 years old is the average age at which a child first encounters an explicit website, which comes from Guard Child. 75% of children are willing to share personal information with strangers. That comes from eSafety Commissioner.
75%?
75%. 50% of sexual exploitation incidents involving children that begin on social media platforms.
What was that percentage?
50%. They begin, which I believe is higher.
Yeah.
27% of online child exploitation cases involving a perpetrator who is a family member or acquaintance. Source: National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, the people that ignored me. But yeah, 27% of people are cases involving family members and acquaintances, which I think that number's higher too. So they're just statistics. They're not always accurate. But either way, they're still horrible, regardless of which way you look at it.
Yeah, it's something to try to wrap your head around and understand the severity and how much this shit happens. But moving on, let's get into some good news. Let's talk about how we solve this thing,
right.
Which seems, when you look at it and you see you can enter just any chat room and somebody shows up in 5 seconds to...
Literally, within 10 seconds, we had that message, or it might have been 5.
Yeah.
We'll find out.
And, we'll find out in the video when we edit. But just to bring some hope to people, we actually the videographer came up with a great option, at least to start. And he was saying, you make a database, we'd pull all of your information, intelligence that you've yanked out of these sites, and hopefully you'll continue to exploit these sites with that information. and make a database, a public database that has all the people that are associated with these sites, names, addresses, pictures, if we can get them, all of it. And then people, schools, businesses, people that are looking to hire, parents, anybody can just go onto this database, type in a name, see if it pops up.
Or a face.
Or a face.
Yeah.
Or both.
Yep.
I think that's a phenomenal idea.
Yeah, of course. I mean, like we were saying on the break, it's not like these people are innocent by like, there's no possible chance of them being innocent. There's chat logs of them talking sexually to what they believe is a minor, and then there's video evidence of them showing up there at the time they say they're going to be there, most of the time on the phone with what they think is a child while they're walking through the store or through a public place to meet who they think is a kid. So the database of, if a cop can't get a charge to stick, or the state attorney doesn't want to go through with the case, well, then the public should know regardless, because then they can make their decision based on the evidence that was gathered by the public.
I don't know what the legalities would be either, but if you are an attorney who knows this subject and you want to help, reach out to 0 Day, reach out to Project Veritas, reach out to us.
Yeah.
All those links will be in the description. But man, I think that would be, you know what else I think? We should shame the attorneys who are representing predators.
Yeah, I think it's ridiculous. I mean, there's no
Put 'em on
money
a
in the world
billboard.
that you could pay me to get rid of this information, to stop the journey that I'm on right now. I don't care what you offered me. It's not happening. It's not worth it. I care too much about kids. I don't even have a kid. And again, off the break, I said, I can't, I don't know how I'm going to act when I have a kid. I'm already crazy. And, it's about my friends' kids. I'm going to be, I need to find a balance between being a crazy parent and letting my kid have their own space, because I'm terrified.
Yeah, me too. I don't even, this stuff really gets to me. And when we connected, I told you my goal this year is to dive into this subject and bring a lot of awareness to it. And man, this shit eats me alive, and then you read stuff like what California's doing, and it's, I mean, they're making this, they're trying to normalize it.
Yeah.
So if you're a pedo, move to California.
Right, yeah, move
If
there.
you're not down with that, move out of California.
I guess so.
It's getting to be that simple, They're gonna, look what's going on there,
Yep.
Everything, the whole, anyways, whatever. But, I really want your word to get out, and I want to connect you with some people. I want to connect you with my friend Matt Murphy, who's doing Operation Light Shine. He's making a huge dent in this stuff. I think how this ends, obviously government's not going to get involved,
Right.
especially in particular states. I guess Florida's getting involved.
Florida might, yeah.
But whatever, government moves as slow as a snail. So I think what it's going to be is it's going to be this collaborative effort from citizens, people like you, people like Matt Murphy, going after these guys. There's other organizations out there, and it's this big it's turning into this big collaborative effort, to get rid of these people and expose what they're doing and educate the public on how to keep your kids safe. And just, Ryan, just with what you're doing, I think I may have brought this up at the beginning, but I mean, if you think about the impact that you're having, you're educating kids. Kids are going to wise up to this stuff. That's going to drop the numbers. Parents are going to be listening to this. They're going to wise up to this. That's going to drop numbers. Mm-hmm. Predators are going to watch this and realize we're coming for them.
And we are heavily.
And they're going to get scared, and some of them are going to stop. So just by doing this show, this one show, it's going to stop a handful. It's going to save at least one kid.
That's
I can
good with
guarantee
me.
you that.
One kid is good with me.
I want to also, actually I already sent the text, but I want to introduce you to a podcast that's they do phenomenal work. It's called Concrete. It's run. Their host is a guy named Danny Jones. I think he's somewhere in the Tampa area.
Okay.
I'd love to connect you with him. I haven't even met him in person, but I'm a huge fan of their podcast. That's one that I watch. They
I think I've
dive
actually
deep
seen
into
it.
stuff.
I've seen it with. I met one of the guys.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Well,
I didn't meet any of the. I'm sorry, the producers of the show. It was somebody that was interviewed. He was a fraud guy, but
Oh,
yeah.
Well, I'd like to introduce you to them because I think they will have the courage to help you get the word out. And there's another guy, Julian Dorian, who I'm actually going on his show here pretty soon, and I want to make that connection too because that guy he does some really, really, really good work, and I'd love to make all three of those connections with Matt, Concrete guys, and Julian Dorian. So
I really appreciate that very much, and yeah, the more we can make, the more noise we make, the better. And like I said, the resources that I have, and the abilities that I have, and the abilities my team has, especially with the cybersecurity company and my hacking team combined, the more resources, the more we can do. I mean, it's very simple. If I don't have access to these missions, or I don't have access to some tips or what, I can't do anything.
yeah.
So
Yeah, what I want to end this, I want to say, if you have fallen victim to this, or you know somebody that's fallen victim to this, speak up about it. Get in touch with Ryan Montgomery. All your links are going to be in the description. 0 Day, your Instagram, with a 0, not spelled 0. 561PC, that'll be linked. Project Veritas and everything that they're doing, all that stuff's going to be linked in the description. And if you don't want to reach out to them, you can reach out to us and we'll put you in contact with them because they're the ones doing the real work. And this is how we battle this shit. You've got to speak up. You've got to get to people that can lead you to the right people, and we got to expose these people. The predators. Man, what a heavy subject.
yeah, unbelievable.
What do you got coming up?
Well, hopefully, this release comes out, and I have some people reaching out, and not entirely sure I want to do them based on some things we just researched, but yeah, more to come. I think that I'll start with your connections.
Right on, man.
Yeah.
Well, Ryan, I just want to say, man, it's you're just a great human. Helping addiction, helping people that are addicts out, and then it morphed into this. And you obviously have a heart of gold, and it shows. And
Thanks.
I'm just proud to know.
Likewise, man. Likewise.
Thank you.
I appreciate you.
All right, brother. Best of luck, and I'll see you soon.
See you soon.
Hey everybody, I'm Shawn Ryan. Click here to subscribe to the Shawn Ryan Show YouTube channel for the hottest and most compelling interviews that you will not see anywhere else. I've also made a playlist of all the previous SRS episodes so they're easy to find. You can find that right here.